morning!
Good morning, everybody.
We're rather excited, aren't we, Bex?
We're very, very excited about this. We brought you a Houseplant special once, ages ago.
Oh, about a year ago,
It was about a year ago, so we're really excited to bring you another Houseplant special, because you've got how many houseplants?
I've got 80 odd.
He's just added loads more to his collection as well.
I've got 80-something houseplants.
I had a little count up of mine yesterday as well, because I've got more than I thought I had. I have.
Yeah.
There's about 50-something, basically, in my house. So,
That's
yeah,
pretty impressive.
We're very keen on our houseplants.
And I know some of our regular YouGardeners, you might be thinking, oh, I'm not really into houseplants. I'm not very good with houseplants. We promise you, we have got such a great selection. We've got a houseplant for every room. We've got some really easy ones.
Yeah.
And actually, I think with houseplants, it's just knowing what they like and what they need. And if
Absolutely.
you put them in the right spot, give them the right things, they're very easy. And should we talk prices, Bex?
Yeah, so we well, we already know, or we think we know. So we've got a great double up deal coming up, haven't we? So there's a double up deal where you're going to get 2 plants, but it's a mix and match, and it's going to be, isn't it $9.99 Steve,
yeah,
for the 2?
Or $8.99 for club members.
So yeah, we think that this little selection here is potentially what you're going to enjoy. We've still got the amazing offer though, that if you get your order to over £40, you'll get the free postage.
And what we would really love today, because I mean, some of you may be great with houseplants, some of you maybe aren't. Just any questions, throw them at us. You know, if you're thinking, oh, what does that plant need? Where does it need to be? We are here to really, really help and advise you. But YouGarden have got amazing houseplants. We've got some really unusual ones. We've got some beautiful. And I'm just going over there, some beautiful pieces that I adore. But we've got plants for any room in the home. So we're looking for kitchen, bathroom, bedroom. And actually, Bex, we often talk about plants being great in terms of air purifying.
So many. I mean, every plant you have, some are better than others, but yeah, it's really good at air purifying properties in the home, removing some of those toxins, adding, you know, fresh oxygen and things into our homes.
Yeah.
But I just, looking at plants, looking at greenery, looking at flowers, looking at those things actually does amazing things to our heads, to our state of mental well-being.
And I do think, particularly in the winter months when you can't get out in your gardens as much, you just want to bring the outside in, don't you?
Yeah.
So, brilliant show. We're really excited about it. Free postage has been spent over £40. We have got a free gift though.
Yes, we have. A great one as well. The one that we are always very excited about. It's our Blooming Fast, our superior plant food. It's great for your outdoor plants. You could use it on your indoor plants.
Definitely.
It's going to make loads in here as well. It's the big bag, isn't it? It's
it is.
$4.99 one. So it's a free gift worth $4.99. It's going to make 100 litres worth of plant food.
So, that is worth £5. Some of the houseplants are, if you're a club member, like $8.99 for 2. So we have got an amazing show. We want to hear from you, so don't forget you can email us ygtv@yougarden.com. You can be part of the live chat on Facebook and YouTube, and we just can't wait to start. I think, Bex, we should start with the mix and match double up, don't you?
I completely agree, yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. If you want to send us any pictures, by the way, of your houseplants, I mean, it doesn't have to be houseplants. If you want to send us your outdoor stuff, then do that as well.
Yeah.
But the email address is on the bottom of the screen there. We'd be willing, and we're not just willing, we would love to show those pictures.
And by the way, if you have got pets, some of you have got cats and dogs or both, we have got a pet-friendly offer coming up as well, because we often get asked that. I mean, I'll be honest, I've got a few plants in my home that, you know, shouldn't probably be there, but I do know my cat.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah.
I've got all of these plants in my home, and I have a dog. I'm getting a puppy tomorrow. But yeah, I know my dog and he doesn't chew them, so I'm all good. But if he did chew them, what I would do is make sure that those plants were in a room he's not allowed to go in.
Yeah. Now, the first deal, we think this is going to be so popular. I mean, this is one that we want everybody to go for today, and it's a mix and match. It's a double up deal. Any 2. We've got 2 different types of epiprenums. Yep. We have got the spider plants as well. You can mix and match, so you can go for 2 different epiprenums, 2 of the same, a spider plant and an epiprenum, lots of combinations, but we are looking at an amazing price today. Club members, £8 and £9. I mean, that's just over £4 a plant.
Yeah, it's a really good one as well. They come in the 12-centimetre pots, so these are really well established. If we start with the Marble Queen, which is on the screen there. So this is an amazing climber. It's known as pothos, it's known as devil's ivy. I said climber, I meant trailer.
No, but it does climb.
You can get it to climb, absolutely. I mean, you can see how it's sort of upright at the moment, but this one here, this one here, look, you can see it's going to start getting a bit longer, and then as it does, it just sort of goes over and starts to trail beautifully. beautifully, and it's very vigorous, this. So it's not one that you have to wait ages to see those trailing results. If it ever gets too big, too long, too vigorous, you can, and I'm going to use the technical term, hack it back. Honestly, you really can be quite vigorous and rough with how much you take off it, because it really doesn't mind. It's so easy, this one.
And the reason a lot of people call it devil's ivy, it's pretty much impossible to kill. Yeah. It really is. That's why it got the name. So it is fairly drought tolerant. I've let mine completely drought. If it flops a bit, it might get the odd yellow leaf, but that's about it. And it really tolerates fairly low light levels as well. So ideally you want a nice bright position, but it does really well in low light levels.
Yeah, and I think that's really handy to know. And this is for both the epiprenums, by the way, because often when we talk about houseplants, we're going to say to you it wants bright indirect light, which is really annoying. Yeah. It's really annoying. And not every room in our house or every corner has bright indirect light. Some are slightly more dark, some are slightly more shady. And there aren't many houseplants that will live in those, but the epiprenums, both the Marble Queen and the Aureum that we'll show you in a second, will.
And I love the markings.
Yeah, it's really pretty, isn't it?
The leaves are stunning on this one. So you've either got the Marble Queen, which is that one there, and that's, I always think it's a little bit sort of like whitey cream with the green, and the other one, the Aureum here, is a little bit more yellowy with the green.
Yeah.
But the same plant, in same position, same needs, but really easy to grow. I think that's one of the easiest houseplants you can have. And as Bex was saying, really in the UK we generally have it as a training plant, but if you wanted to train it up something like a moss stick, you can get them to climb, but I think they look far better as a trailing plant. They're so healthy, aren't they? Really
healthy, absolutely. Great root structure on there. Just showing you that because actually it's not going to need potting on anytime soon. So if you're looking for pot covers to go with your houseplants, because obviously they come in the nursery pots, you're not going to stick that on the side, are you? Because when you water it, all the water's going to come out. So you do need to get yourself some pot covers. We have some options for you on the show. Yeah. So the 12 centimetre will happily go into the 14 centimetre pot cover that we've got available for you.
They look so nice, don't they?
Really pretty, really lovely. Love those.
And then also, that's Espresso, by the way. It's the eco houseplants, and they are eco-friendly houseplants, pots rather. And they're is that $1.99 bags?
Yeah, they're a great price at the moment. Honestly, stunning price. So there's the Espresso, which is the darker coloured one, and we've got a latte in the 14 centimetre. We might as well show you that while we're here.
I love a latte. There you go.
I love a latte as well.
I do love a latte. It's my favourite coffee.
But either, both colours, those are going to work really nicely. And we've got lots of other houseplant pot covers available. If you want to go and search the website, there's a few different colours. But we've selected these colours because we think that these are going to work best in most people's colour schemes.
And they are very eco-friendly, made out of recycled materials as well. 100% recycled, we should say. And then the other plant that's in the mix and match, I know this one as the spider plant.
Yeah. Now this one, I'm going to get this one out of the pot. I know. I'm just having to manipulate this because these are really rooty. So I'm going to suggest that this one probably needs to go into a slightly larger pot.
They're big, these at the moment.
It's pretty good, isn't it?
Yeah.
But these are very rooty plants. They're very. You can't kill these, can you? Do you know someone who's killed one? I think you told me a story. Somebody did kill one of these.
No, that was Vicky who killed a yucca.
Oh, that was it. Okay.
Even she couldn't kill one of these. Okay. No, they are really. I mean, I know this from a child. They were really popular when I was growing up, and they've had a real renaissance right now. But yeah, one of the easiest plants to grow. And actually, you'll know if you've ever had a spider plant before. They produce babies like nobody's business.
Yeah,
they really do.
You get these long sort of stems coming out, and they have clusters of little dainty-looking white flowers at the end, and then it actually turns into a miniature, and it's so cute. It's dinky. It's like a miniature spider plant, and then all you do is you trim that off, put it in. Do you put it in water?
I even want to put mine in a little source of water just to get the roots going a bit.
Water first. Get those roots coming through, and then you can pot it up.
Yeah.
I remember my mum having these and she's rubbish at houseplants. Good morning, Mum, if you're watching. She will admit it now. She's rubbish at houseplants. Great in her garden, but even she could grow these.
And actually, if you want to leave the babies on, they can. If this is on like a shelf, sometimes the babies just hang it down. You can leave them there for months.
They do get really long, and they're really pretty.
They're great. So I mean, look what an amazing deal that is. Mix and match, spider plants and epiprenums. Either the Marble Queen, which is I think that's my favourite. Is it yours?
It tends to be most people's favourite, to be honest. The Marble Queen is the one that we've had to restock more than this one. But I actually quite like the two of them.
Yeah.
What I'm doing doing with mine, okay, so I'm growing them from cuttings at the moment, which is super easy to do with Marble Queen, with Epiprenums, by the way. So they're in pots growing on at the moment, but what I'm going to do is on a bare wall, I'm going to put one on a shelf at one end, one on a shelf at the other end, but then I'm going to stick hooks across horizontally,
nice.
and I'm going to get them to grow horizontally and fill, so I've got like a living wall, and then they'll mingle into each other. So I've got the Marble Queen and the Aureum, and then I'm just going to get them to grow into each other.
And I've seen that kind of look, and it's beautiful.
It is gorgeous.
So I think in terms of a really easy houseplant collection, the spider plant and the Epiprenum, you really can't go wrong with those. And mix and match any two for just £8.99, £8.09 if you are a club member. And don't forget, if you spend over £40 today, now you may be thinking, do you know what, Sean and Bex, I don't want to spend £40 just on houseplants. You can still get things like your compost. You can if there's any plants that you saw on the weekend show last week, outdoor plants you've got your eye on, you can still put whatever you want in your basket, but if you do get your total order to over £40, you will get free delivery as well. But we just want every one of our gardening friends to try some of our amazing houseplants today.
It's so rewarding, honestly, when you nurture a plant and it's indoors. You can look at it all the time. I really enjoy it.
We had houseplants for when I was a child, and I don't know, I think the journey... there's Stu's.
Those are the babies. Look at those.
See, I like leaving the babies on, but it's so easy to propagate those. If you literally just chop those off, put them in a little glass of water, a little sauce of water for a week or so, you'll get even more roots, and then you can pot those on. But they are beautiful, easy plants to grow.
They look great.
They look really good, don't they?
Really good.
Really good. So any questions, any comments, we would love to hear from you. Now, one of the best-selling plants that we've had on YouGarden, on our website, and I can see why, is the Monstera monkey leaf. And this is a type of Swiss cheese plant, type of Monstera, but it's a lot more compact. And I think a lot more beautiful.
I enjoy this one. So Monstera monkey leaf, in comparison to the Monstera deliciosa, the Swiss cheese plant, you know, that big one, that massive one that climbs metres high if you let it, you know, that's really beautiful, distinctive sort of heart-shaped leaves, got the fenestrations, the holes in the leaves. I've always wanted one of those, but they're just too big. They're too big. I can't do it with kids in the house.
We had one for many years as a child, and when they get really big, you often get a lot of aerial roots.
You do. They're quite ugly, aren't they? Those aerial.
A little bit. I mean, it uses them to climb, and you can sort of like feed them into moss stick. But a big Swiss cheese plant is not for everybody.
No.
This is for everybody.
This is the difference here. So, first of all, you're not having to wait years for the holes, for the fenestrations in the leaves to appear, where you do have to wait for that with the deliciosa.
I'd say about 2 to 3 years.
2 to 3 years, yeah. You have to wait for those. So they come out and they're heart-shaped and they're gorgeous and they're glossy. But with this one, with the monkey leaf, look, even this baby leaf down the bottom here, the tiny leaves that come out, they already have those holes in. So you're not having to wait for that. Now, this is traditionally a trailing plant. Doesn't look like it at the moment, I know, but as the stems get longer and heavier, what they will do is just start to trail over and make this. Stu, you're going to have to show yours, please. So it makes this lovely trailing effect.
We've all got this plant. Bex has got it, I've got it, Stu's got it, and
Stu's is
the
best.
annoying thing is, Stu, the non-gardener, has got the best Monstera.
He has actually. Well, but it's not Stu. This is the secret.
It's Sam. It's Sam.
Sam's the one.
Nothing to do with Stu. Now, what is interesting, I've been to Stu's house, and where his Monstera monkey leaf is, it's on a shelf, and it only gets, I would say, a fairly low amount of light. It's not in bright light. Mine's in a brighter position, but ideally you want a bright spot, again, in direct sunlight. But Stu's is actually, I'd say, in low to moderate light, and it has done absolutely brilliantly.
Yeah, so I think the monkey leaf is less maintenance than the deliciosa. It doesn't get as big. It trails gorgeously. I love the way it's sort of got an open habit to it as well. It's really interesting to look at. It can trail by probably a good metre and a half. Stu says his has got to a metre and a half, and they've had to trim it a little bit. But that's fine. It's very simple to do. You can propagate from it. It does create aerial roots, but they're not quite as unsightly as the deliciosa. But that means that it's really easy for you to be able to propagate from and make other plants if you want to. And I just think it's less of a diva, less maintenance than the Monstera deliciosa.
It's an easy one, isn't it? It really
dead easy, this one, for sure.
But my whole childhood, because we had, say, the big Swiss cheese plant, I always thought they came from Switzerland.
Because it's Swiss cheese plant. I get it. But, you do when you're a kid, don't you?
I was like,
I thought kidney beans were kidneys. I thought they were little kidneys, and so I would never eat anything that had kidney beans in, because I thought they were real kidneys.
As a child you look back, didn't it? We have got stews. Have we got a picture of your stew? Have you found it? Hang on.
We're going to have to wait.
Look. I think that is beautiful, don't you?
It is gorgeous. Yeah. And that's the perfect place for it, isn't it? Just high up on a bookshelf somewhere, just trailing over the edge there. I love it.
I'll tell you what. Isn't Stu's house really neat and tidy?
I know.
Everything's in the perfect place. Look at that. I mean,
gorgeous.
No clutter there.
Oh, it lives on that corner, apparently.
But it is an easy one. I think it's one of the most beautiful types of Monstera's Swiss cheese plants. More compact. As Bex was saying, you get the fenestrations, the perforations in the leaves from the word go. You don't have to wait 2 or 3 years. I know if you've ever grown the big Swiss cheese plants, the leaves start off solid, then you get like a few sort of like divisions in them, and then maybe 3-4 years later you start to get the really spectacular leaves. All of the leaves on this variety are spectacular from the word go.
Yeah, I love it. It's so easy to look after as well. It's one I've got in my collection.
Yeah, we love ours, don't we?
Love them. Yeah, love them. It's one of my favourites, definitely.
We've got some great plants, we really have, and some nice easy ones, and some that maybe need a little bit more looking after, but we've got nothing uber complicated. Now, we're going to just see who's in the chat. Neil's there.
Ruth, Grimmy, Elaine. Good morning. Ruth is saying I'm big on houseplants.
Good, Ruth.
But I struggle with the ferns and calathea. Well, we haven't got the calathea in today, but I've got some tips and tricks. Maybe we can cover those on the calathea for you, because I struggled, but I feel like I've nailed it now.
I've got a few calatheas in it. Yeah, once you get them happy, generally speaking, they stay happy. If there's anything that you want to see particularly, let us know, and we will go to it. But Bex and I'm here to give you lots of help, tips, advice. What you laughing at? What we got?
Grimmy says.
Go on.
Houseplants are my nemesis, Stu, so I'm watching out for the bomb-proof ones.
Right, well, we've just had some Grimmy.
Actually, Grimmy, honestly, we've got some really good ones.
They are.
Genuinely. Yeah. And it's funny, isn't it? Because I always think about my mum when it comes to this, because my mum's a fantastic gardener. She loves being outside. She loves being outside in the garden. But for some reason, she just can't do houseplants. But I genuinely think that she's built it up in her head. Actually, we have got some amazing varieties here, and we will tell you the more difficult ones. They're all pretty manageable, but we will tell you the more difficult ones. But certainly, all of the ones we've shown you so far, I reckon you could do them. And
I'm just going to, because I have honestly got about 80 odd houseplants, and I do manage to pretty much look after every single one of them all of the time. But I think there's a few golden rules, and I just think if you actually look at where the houseplants originate from, do they come from humid countries? Do they come from dry, arid countries? Warm climates, cold climates? Are they used to a lot of light, or is it a plant that grows on the ground in the jungle? And so if you look at where they actually come from, that helps. But also, I think the golden rule is, and we've only got one plant that's the exception to this, none of the plants want to be sitting in water, with the one exception. We've got the pitcher trumpet plant coming up, but none of these ever want to be sitting in water, and I think that is one of the problems. People, what you do, you buy a pot cover, like this, you put your plant in it, you water it, and then you've overwatered it. It sits in water for several days and the roots rot. Yeah. So that's the one thing I think. I mean, I very rarely kill a houseplant, but normally it's overwatering rather than underwatering.
The thing that I've found, because I do talk a lot about houseplants, the thing that I found is that people want to know how often to water. Yeah. And they kind of want a timing schedule, like once a week or once every 2 weeks. And I'm always very loath to give that kind of advice.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I think if you get into that watering schedule, you massively run the risk of over or potentially underwatering. Overwatering is the biggest problem. It's all about feeling the compost. It's all about knowing the plants need and feeling in the compost to work out whether it needs watering or not.
And we have got some plants that you can let completely dry out, and so we're going to say about every individual plant, and some that like to be moist all the time, and some in between. So we promise you, we are going to go through every plant, give you the best advice possible. But one of the most popular plants at YouGarden is the Pachira aquatica, which we've got for you right now. Amazing reviews, a stunning plant. We have got this today for $12.99. And you might be thinking, what is Bex doing counting leaves right now? I know what she's doing.
Well, this is known as the money tree. Okay, so having this in your home is supposed to bring wealth and fortune. Now, I've got 3 in my home. I'm not there yet. But you know what? I live in hope. I'm an optimist.
Yeah.
So it's going to bring that wealth and fortune my way. Look,
Come on!
I'm already very fortunate. I'm very grateful for everything I've got. However, I am counting the leaves here because 5 leaves is great. The whole plant is supposed to be, lucky, bring you wealth and fortune.
Some people say those 5 leaves are based on Feng Shui.
Feng Shui, absolutely. Yes. 5 elements of Feng Shui. But apparently, and I don't think there's any on here, if you get a 6-leaf or a 7-leaf one, they are extra lucky. I haven't found a 6 or a 7-leaf one yet. Bex. But yes, this is a great one, I think, to give as a gift. In fact, Stu gave this as a gift to our lovely friend earlier on in the year when he went to that person's wedding. And I think that's a wonderful thing to give, particularly because of the thoughts of wealth and fortune and all the rest of it. So it's a great one there. If you're looking for Christmas gifts, honestly, house plants, or any plants. We often talk about this, don't we? Giving plants as presents.
And don't just give a poinsettia at Christmas because the chances are, let's be honest,
it'll die.
Yeah, and if it doesn't die, I don't know why, but we poinsettias for some reason in this country we just associate them with Christmas. Then after Christmas they kind of look wrong. Give friends and family plants that they're going to have for many years, if not a lifetime. And I love the shape of this. The plaiting, this doesn't happen naturally, so it wouldn't naturally grow like this, but it's been expertly plaited together. That's believed, again, to hold the wealth in the plant. I'm feeling that money, Bex.
Yeah, that's it. Catches the luck.
Yeah.
Now, when it grows, obviously, you're going to need to keep plaiting it. There's just a little tie up at the top here. You can see it's just holding it together. You can remove it. It kind of holds it in place. But yeah, as it gets taller, all you need to do is just carry on that plaiting process. These can get to a good metre, even a little bit
Bex,
taller.
I honestly have got a friend that's got one 2 metres.
Really?
Yeah. She did buy it bigger, I'll be honest.
Wow.
But yeah, it's ripe to the seed. It looks beautiful.
They're quite vigorous growing as well. So you can get a good sort of, between 10 and 20 centimetres growth out of this in a year, which I think is quite vigorous in its growth. And we do say that this one is virtually indestructible. It's got a few likes, but it is really forgiving if you get it wrong. So it likes bright indirect light, again, that term. But don't put it in direct light, it'll probably scorch that lovely canopy of leaves up at the top there. It likes a regular watering schedule, but will tolerate drying out. It will tolerate it, absolutely. But again, feel inside the compost, get your finger in, have a little feel, a good couple of centimetres down. If it's feeling dry, give it a little bit of water. And the other tip I would give with this is to twist it by 90 degrees every couple of weeks, because actually this will try and reach for the light.
Yeah.
And what you want, and it creates a kind of it's like an umbrella canopy, isn't it, that creates up at the top. And you want that lovely even growth. So just twist it every couple of weeks.
But it is another really, really easy one.
Yeah, and, I love this one.
Stunning. And look, we're not going to make any promises. We're not going to say you're going to suddenly win the lottery. But I love all the beliefs that it is supposed to bring you luck and good fortune, and is known as a money tree. So it does make a lovely gift. If you've got a friend that's maybe if you've got just a little question come in. So if you have got a friend that's maybe not having a good time at the moment, looking for a bit of prosperity in their life, that could be a good one to go for. Right, we've had a question come in from Gwyn, haven't we? Glyn's
asking for suggestions for a north-facing porch, but it's unheated, and I think we might struggle if it's a north-facing unheated porch, because the temperatures in there are going to get a little bit low, I think, for houseplants.
I'm going to say we have got, I'm going to say none of the houseplants, I agree, Bex, but we have got citrus trees on our website.
That would be amazing.
Yeah, and we've got, they're really good. There's limes, lemons, mandarins.
Yeah, and do you know what? Actually, even our olive trees.
Yeah.
So we've got the Bic. It is a little bit more money, but it's on a Black Friday discount at the moment. Haven't we got it at 81 quid?
What is it? What are we talking?
Is it better than 81 now?
Shall I go and get it?
Yeah, why not?
Right, I'll go and get it.
Okay, so then we've got a couple of different ones. So we've got the tall one. It's up to about here, which is the olive tree. It's got the spiral stem. That's what Sean's gone to get. Oh, you're kidding me.
What is the price?
I bought 2 of those at £99, £99.99. It's down to £74.99 at the moment. That would live really happily in a cool porch. We've got a shorter one as well. We've got another shorter spiral stem. I think Stu's going to find that one for you right now. Oh. There it is, look. And that one's about, what's that, about 50 centimetres in height, I think. So it's a lot smaller. Oh, and they do come as a pair as well, so you could get them as a pair if you want to. So that would work really nicely. Or, as Sean was saying, potentially the citrus that we've got, and we've got some really well-established citrus for you. We've got lemon, we've got lime, we've got orange, and we've got mandarin, and we've got blood orange, and we've got grapefruit available for you. So you can choose whichever one you want here, but is the lime the least expensive? I can't remember. But have a little look. Go and have a little look. Is this the lime we've got here? Well, this one's the lemon, actually, but they are all exactly the same. They all look very much the same as this. And you can still get your free gift. You'll still get your free postage if you get your order to over £40. You have to use that code that you can see on the screen there, but that would be a really good option for a porch.
Really would. And they're really beautiful. They're probably going to blossom kind of like February, March time. It takes about a year for the blossom. I don't know if you've said all this.
No, I haven't yet. No, you carry on.
But it takes about a year for the blossom to become a fruit. But what is lovely with the citrus trees, you often get blossom and fruit at various stages in its life. And that's one that's really lovely when you've got, green lemons, yellow lemons, blossom all at the same time. But that would be a really, really good one for your porch.
It would be great for the porch. It doesn't get much sunlight in the summer, it being north facing in the summertime, so I would suggest that you would need to take this out into a more south facing, out into the garden in the summertime, but certainly in winter this would be amazing. So Glyn, this is all the advice for you. Anybody who's new that's watching, welcome, thank you.
Yes.
If you are interested in what we do, right now it's all about houseplants and stuff that we're doing today, but we do all sorts on a weekly basis. You need to go to YouGarden.com to place your order, where you'll find everything that we've got available, and also the shows that we do on a weekly basis, on a Thursday and on a Sunday. Just look for that Live Now button or the YouGarden TV. That's where you'll find myself, Sean, our head gardener Peter, Adam, who's with us sometimes as well. And this is where you can have a little look at the items we've selected for today.
By the way, we have got also some great plant feeds, compost, and lots of things to really make sure your plants are as healthy as possible. Can we just quickly go back to the money tree?
And can we show that olive as well?
Oh, yeah.
The big standard olive,
right,
did we?
what was the price of the olive, Bex?
$74.99.
No.
Yeah, I know, that was my reaction as well.
Right.
Right. We bought them. Stu's now taking the mickey out of us.
Because we bought 2 of these each. So and she said, imagine how much money you could have saved, guys, if you'd have waited. Yeah, thanks to. So we bought them at £90 each. Do you know, I don't regret it, because we've had ours for a couple of months and really enjoyed them. But the last handful of the spiral olives are reduced now to £75. And these are not coming back until next year. And I will be honest, next year, we actually don't know what the price will be, because it'll be new stock, there'll be shipped over from Sicily. And for anybody that's thinking about getting one of these, the work that's involved in growing a spiral olive is huge. These don't grow natural like this. They grow as a bush. So what will have happened from a single stem many, many years ago, that will have been trained up a spiral structure. Over the years, any side shoots will have been removed, and it will have been slowly but surely, because olives do grow slowly, it will have been trained into this spiral, and then just allowed to absolutely go crazy at the top there. So this could be, I reckon it's about 10 to 15 years old. If it is going outside, hardly we say to at least, we say around about -8. You get the blossom in the springtime, followed by olives in the summer. There's my 2 outside my front door. I've actually put them in pots now.
Have you done it?
Yeah,
well
finally
done.
did it.
I still haven't.
Do you know what? They are stunning.
There's me being a model.
Yeah, there you are.
It was just to show the kind of height they are, by the way. Yeah, because you can't tell from that, can you? I'm 5'6" and a bit, by the way, just so you can get an idea of how
they're huge, aren't they?
They're really big.
Yeah. So the last few of those, we've only got a handful, and they are reduced. So if you want to add that to your basket, use the offer code. That will give you your free postage, don't forget. So you do need to use that YGTV.
And you'll get your 10% discount if you're a club member.
Yeah. Oh, my word. So you get that for £67.50. Wow.
I mean, those are like £150, £200 if you look for them elsewhere. Honestly, that's why I bought them from YouGarden, because I've always wanted one and they've always been too expensive.
And actually, we still got a great price at £90 each, didn't we?
Yeah, we did.
Just wanted to go back to the money plant. Something really weird's happened, Bex.
What?
You know we stood out the money plants?
Yeah.
I just went through there, and there was like this.
Oh my God!
There's like a wad of cash. Oh my God! Look, where's this all coming from? Look.
I've always wanted to do that. Get a wad of cash and just go, yeah.
Where did it come from?
I don't know.
Don't know. So, look, we can't promise that's going to happen to you. We can't, but it just suddenly appeared.
Just appeared.
Yeah, of course it did.
Right, let's pick one.
Let's choose a plant each now, Bex.
Okay, I'm going to go Tenanthe, if that's all right.
Absolutely fine. Love it.
Love a Tenanthe. Yeah, if you want to see anything, by the way, if you're seeing any plant and you're like, I want to see that one, just put it in the comments. Let's do know. Send us an email. We'll happily talk about whatever it is you want to look at. But Tenanthe Belmarxii, this it's also known as the fishbone prayer plant. This one's super interesting. So it's a relative of Calathea. Who was it that was saying they struggle with Calatheas? Was that Ruth? I think it was.
This one is a bit easier, I'd say.
I would say this one's slightly easier, although I find the other one quite easy as well. But anyway, they like a little bit of humidity. I would say medium to high humidity. This one less so than the other. But when we're talking about humidity, what does that mean? Okay, so bathrooms and kitchens, they tend to be the most humid rooms in our homes. We cook in there, we shower in there, not in the kitchen, you know what I mean. So it adds that moisture into the air. So it's great if you can keep these humidity-loving plants in those rooms. But if you don't want to keep them in there, you can do it other ways. There's a thing you can do, which is the pebble trays.
Yeah,
so
that
you get
works.
A tray, pebbles in, water in the bottom, not so the pot is sitting in the water, sitting on the pebbles, not in the water. As the water evaporates, it adds humidity into the room. You can mist the leaves every couple of days. Get a spray bottle, spray it every couple of days. It fools the plant into thinking it's in a humid room. Big tip for you is always use rainwater and not tap water. But as far as the care of this is concerned, again, this one's a bright indirect light room. Not direct light because it'll scorch the leaves, but not too dark because I think you'll lose some of the kind of, intense colours and patterns that you've got on those leaves.
I honestly bought one from YouGarden about 6 weeks ago. It's in the kitchen, on the kitchen windowsill, gets morning sun and that's about it, but it's done brilliantly. What is weird, on a night, mine doesn't actually fully close up, but it does this. It moves, right. And I'll sometimes look at it and go, oh, is it all right? Because it kind of looks, it does that, yeah. But that is natural.
It's called the prayer plant because the leaves move. So that's very typical to every plant within that sort of Calathea, company. They all sort of move their leaves, and that's why they're called prayer plants.
No, it's really quite interesting,
isn't it?
So if you suddenly see it on a night and it's like, it looks different, it will have actually literally moved. But I love the way these grow because they kind of, Bex uses the word
sprawling.
Sprawl.
He hates my word sprawling. But it's very descriptive, I think. It tells you what it does.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of a better word because to me, sprawl is messy.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
And it's not messy, but it kind of goes up a bit and along a bit, doesn't it?
So, it can get nice and big, actually. It takes a while. It's very slow growing. It can get to probably 50 centimetres height and spread here. But you get some upright bits, but then you do get some that go outwards as well. So it does need a little bit of space as it gets a bit bigger.
But that is an amazing, beautiful looking plant. I love the markings. I love the fact that it is called the fishbone prayer plant because it really does look like the most exquisite fishbone. So that's another one that we would highly recommend, 800-244. And we have got it in a pet-friendly bundle as well, because it is one of the pet-friendly plants. I'm going to choose my ficus.
Oh, yeah, go for it.
Yeah, because I've got...
Did you say you've got this one?
Yeah, I've got this one, yeah. And I love it. Now, we do quite a few different ficus benjaminas, but this one I think is really, really special because, first of all, it's variegated. So if you actually look at the leaves, you've got beautiful cream edges to those green leaves. That makes it really special. We've got lots of, Ficus benjamina. We've got the Ficus benjamina exotica that's just all solid green. But I think there's a lot more to this. Have you noticed how shiny the leaves are as well? Just stunning. And the way this has been grown, it's called the Ficus benjamina kinky jute. All of the stems have been wrapped in the actual cloth there. And what will happen as this gets bigger, it will form more of a tree shape. So it will just get taller and taller and form more of a tree shape. Now, it is an easy one, but there are a few little rules with this one. So, Ficus benjamina, they don't like drafts. So don't put it in a window. Don't put it near, Stu said, it prefers chess. Oh, he's in one of those moods today.
That's what I've done wrong with mine, isn't it? And I know this already. I've got one and I've put it on the windowsill.
I bet it hates it, doesn't it?
It probably hates it. It has actually dropped a few leaves.
Yeah. They hate drafts. Yeah. Like the peace lily, this one loves a breeze. Right? That you could put that near an open window and it loves that fresh air. This one hates it. They're all different, like we are. So don't put it near an open window. Don't put it near doors, and don't put it near a radiator, a direct heat source. And one other thing, because it likes being just in a nice settled position, so it doesn't want to be moved around either. It's
this is the one that's like just thrives a little bit on neglect. It just wants to be left. Leave me alone, darling. Leave me alone.
Leave me alone. Put me in a nice, quiet corner, away from drafts, away from heat sources. The one thing I will say is it doesn't like to completely dry out.
Yes.
So if you let it completely dry out till it's bone dry, it will shed some leaves. You wouldn't necessarily kill it, but if you ever get lots of leaf drop, it's normally drafts, too much heat and drying out. But apart from that, I've made it sound complicated, but it's not.
It really isn't. Avoid temperature fluctuations and don't let it dry out. Yeah. Those are the two things you're telling us. That's simple, isn't it?
Yeah. And honestly, I've had mine years and it is beautiful. They are quite slow growing. But I look at that for under £10. That is a stunning plant, isn't it?
So you keep the wrapping going, don't you? Because actually under there's multiple stems. So keep the wrapping going or add some extra wrapping as it gets a little bit taller. And then you'll get that trunk shape and that just... it's almost got a weeping feel to it, hasn't it? A very organic, natural look.
To me, it's like having a mini tree inside your home.
Yeah.
And look at the foliage, it's a variegated one. They're a lot rarer. For some reason, we don't see the variegated Ficus benjamina as much. But that is one of my favourite. It's a beautiful, beautiful plant, and it is under £10. So it's got one of the biggest savings of £5. Now, we're going to get a little bit romantic now. Mm-hmm. We're going to pull at your heartstrings.
Your string of hearts.
Cheesy now, yeah. Because it's got string of hearts. This is a really cute one, actually.
I adore this one. Yeah. Okay, so it's called Ceropedia woodii, but let's just call it string of hearts, shall we? And what it is a trailing plant, and I find this one very elegant, very lovely. I mean, this is a great one for a loved one, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because this has got these trailing strings here that have got the most mesmerising heart-shaped leaves on there that are all variegated as well. And I found this one really easy to look after.
Totally great.
Really easy, because this one actually can cope in those slightly lower light levels as well. It's fine, it's happy in a bright room, not direct light, but a nice bright room. But actually, if it's a slightly darker room, this plant isn't going to worry about it at all. It's not a hungry plant either. So when it comes to feeding the string of hearts, you're probably going to feed it only once in the springtime and once in the summertime. It doesn't need to be fed as regularly as a lot of the other houseplants that you've got. And watering is just, regular watering, basically. Don't over, obviously, don't under. Nice, regular moisture levels to the compost, and don't let it sit in water.
Although, having said that, Bess, because it is like a semicircular, I have let mine...
dry out a little bit.
And it didn't I mean, the peace lily will go on to, if you let that dry out for a second, it will just go like this. And this one doesn't. But
it can cope. It's so easy, and I think this is definitely what you would call, and I don't like to call them beginner or expert houseplants or anything, but if you want a level, I think beginner could absolutely cope with this quite happily.
What Bex and I and Stu did all the technical things, Stu, most of you will. We just want today, for those of you that are kind of like, I don't do houseplants, I'm not sure.
Give it a go.
Look, you love gardening, we know you love gardening, bring the outside in, give it a go, and just follow the advice and instructions that Bex and I are giving you, and we promise you all of the plants, just give them what they need, and most of them don't need a lot, and you'll have them for many, many years.
And there's loads of advice out there, There is loads of advice that you're able to get, and if you are buying one today and you ever think, how do I look after this? You can always message us. You can always message us here at YGTV. We will always try and help.
And this was another one that's really easy to propagate.
Yeah. You get these little... you do get these little roots that come from it. So if you want to fill and I often say this with the other trailing plant that we've got, I'll show you it in a second, but if you want to fill it out and create a more full look, you can actually take some of these off, like cut them off, and you can then poke it into the compost up at the top here, and you can get it to root in again, as long as you're getting the rooty bits.
That's a lovely plant,
and it creates flowers as well in the summertime.
Oh, yes.
We haven't got any on here. Oh, no, we have. Look, there's one there. Okay. Now, that shouldn't still be there, and it has faded in colour, but it's a really unusual looking shaped flower there, look. But it does turn more pink, more the colour of my nail varnish, in actual fact, during the summer months. So you get loads of those kind of weird and wonderful pink looking flowers on there.
God. So Gorgeous plants today, really great prices as well. As ever, you can use your club discount. Don't forget, if you use the code YGTV4824, you'll also get your free gift. That's a blooming fast. That's worth £5 alone. That will make 100 litres of our premium plant food, which is great for all your outside plants, but all your indoor ones as well. And if you do spend over £40, then you will get free postage as well. So just maybe get some of our compost, something like that. Now we have got another stunning plant for you right now.
I'm a big fan of this one.
I think everyone is.
I mean, a big fan of a lot of them, but I love this one so much.
And this is our Senecio. It's very. Do you know what? I love the look of it, but I actually love the feel of it.
It feels so. Yeah, it does.
Doesn't
It feels so nice. So this is a succulent. Okay, so Grimmy, you
Yes.
said you can't do houseplants. You can do this one.
You really can.
Honestly, Grimmy, this is the one you can. I mean, there's many others, but definitely this is one of the ones that you can do. This is ridiculous low maintenance here because this is a succulent, okay? So it actually holds its moisture in the leaves. These lovely they're like pea-shaped but elongated, which is why it's called string of pearls. There's another variety called Senecio Herrerianus, which is the string of beads. This one is the string of pearls because it's more elongated, okay? Holds its moisture in there, so you barely need to water this at all. When it comes to succulents, the way you kill them is by over-watering them. I've killed multiple succulents in the past, and that's because I've got into a watering schedule and I'll just give it a bit of water. They don't need it. I use the drench and drought method with my succulents now. I let them completely dry out, beyond the point where you think they can cope with it. Let them really dry out, and then give them a good water, and then let them really dry out. So that seems to have worked for me.
So you could go away on holiday for several weeks, and as long as you gave this a good drench before you went away, it would be fine.
It'd be fine.
'Cause all these little beads, it actually stores water in them. Each one of these is really fleshy, so every one of these is actually storing water. So it's a very, as Beck said, a very, very easy plant to grow. Now it does arrive in the little hanging pot, so you could hang this, but these do unclip as well. So if you didn't want to hang it, if you wanted it on a shelf, the one thing I'd say is you could put this in a bathroom, but if it's too humid and it's constantly, you know, some bathrooms are always wet, then that wouldn't be suitable for this because it does like to dry out.
But this one does like, or will cope with, direct light.
Yes.
And that's a really big thing to tell you because we're going to keep saying it bright but indirect light for loads of plants. But this one can actually cope with direct light.
But you're right, Bex, there's only a couple that will here, isn't there?
Well, there's the jade.
And that's all we've got today,
and I think that's probably it.
That is it. Yeah, that is it. But
so hang this in a window somewhere, it'd be beautiful.
So if you're somebody that forgets to water plants.
And they are all this big, by the way. Honestly, I'm quite amazed with how long these all are in the nursery. This is several years old. This is a lot of growing on for you. We've got teeny tiny baby ones. I think we've got the 6 centimetre in a pack later on, maybe. This one has been grown on so much. It's already really mature.
And aren't the flowers weird and wonderful?
I love them. The flowers shouldn't really still be on there because they produce those in summertime. But yeah, really lovely, fluffy white flowers. Excuse me. And you get these aerial roots. I found one earlier. So what you can do is, with these longer trails, if you find yourself there, there's one there. Sorry, Stu, just there. Can you see that little aerial root there? There you go. So what I can do is I can actually take that stem. I'm just going to pinch it off. Now there's the root just by my thumb, and what I can then do is I can push that into the pot up at the top here, find a little gap, just push it in. It will happily root itself into there, and then what we've done is create another little dreadlock on that side of the...
It's a bit like just getting some hair extensions.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah. Or you could put that in a separate pot and you've got a new plant. When the countries these go naturally in, they would literally grow along rocky areas and over cliff tops and things like that, but they would actually root into the ground and produce new plants. It's a really lovely
It's one of my favourites of the houseplants. At the moment, I change my mind all the time, but right now that's one of my favourites.
So our Senecio Rolianus is there at £19.99. Been really popular in the past. So we have got, if you have just joined us, a very special show today on YouGarden TV. It's a houseplant special. So we want to see your houseplants, the good, the bad and the ugly. We want to see them all, don't we?
We do indeed.
If you've got any questions, then come to... I am going to have to move this olive, by the way, because that's kind of in the way, isn't it? And coming up, we have also got some lovely houseplant collections as well that are really, really affordable. So we've got groups of 6, groups of 3, and some mini ones as well.
Let's go to the mini ones. Elaine, bless you. Elaine's saying, I don't know where to start with houseplants.
Oh, Elaine.
I will start for the kitchen. We're showing you so many, honestly. I hope we're giving you some ideas of where you could start and which ones are nice and easy to look after.
But I think the easiest ones we've had so far, the epiprenums, the spider plants, the Pachira aquatica, all of those are super, super easy.
And Ruth was saying when my gift-wrapped lemon tree arrived last week, the recipient loved it, said it looked very healthy.
Oh yes, we do a gift wrapping service, don't we?
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
There's a few things you can get gift wrapped, which is perfect, isn't it?
Yeah. Right.
Oh, if you do want to see it, the list of items that you can get gift wrapped, all you have to do is go to the website, go to the home page, scroll down, keep going. There you go, look, gift wrap plants. If you click on there, you can then see the list of, it's a lot of the standards, obviously, because they're really good to give as gifts, but there is the citrus and things in there. There's a pair you can get of the holly trees, that's great.
See,
bays, magnolia, aces, there's all sorts in there.
Don't you think as well, when you see those wraps, I mean, that does make a stunning
It does. It's a lovely Hessian wrapping with a satin bow on there as well.
It's very, I don't know, I think they're very well done. And the wrapping is very sympathetic to the plant. It just works,
and
if
you're giving it as a gift to somebody, to have that extra bit of wrapping rather than just the box it comes in, that does make a difference, doesn't it?
I think the Hessian wrapping is perfect, isn't it? Yeah, so anyway, they're all available, gift wrapped. Now, we have got a few little extras that you can add to your basket. So don't forget, if you spend over £40, you will get free delivery today. Just use that code YGTV4824. I mentioned your free gift is your Blooming Fast. That is worth £4.99. That will make 100 litres of premium plant food. But we have got a few little extras that will really make your plants thrive, but also look extra special as well. We've got feeds, we've got compost, and we've got a leaf shine as well.
Yeah, a few different things. Where do you want to start, Stu? Anywhere? All right, should we go with these ones then?
Yeah,
because you're getting two of these, and it is a bit of a deal going on. So this is our houseplant focus. It's a double-up deal, is it, on this one? Yeah,
yes.
Double up. So it's one for £6.99, or you can get the two for £11.99. Obviously, you still get your club discount on all of these. If you don't know about our club, stick around. You get extra 10% on pretty much everything you buy here.
And we were going through the products earlier, and we sort of going, hang on, how much does that make again? And then Beck said 60 litres. I went, hang on, that's over the 2 bottles. And we went, oh no, it's not.
No.
60 litres.
60 litres per bottle.
Wow.
So it's 5 ml in a litre of water.
Yeah, tiny amount.
Which, I mean, that litre, because you're not... I think people make this mistake when they're feeding their plants, don't they? You make a litre, but then you put as much as you would in when you're watering the plant, and it's not the case, is it?
And you can overfeed. Just like humans and pets, when we overfeed, you can actually do that with houseplants and exhaust them.
All right, but this is high. It's got all the list of everything on here, but it's high in the NPK, your nitrogen, and your phosphorus, potassium. You've got all of the trace elements included in there as well. So it's a really nice, easy one. It's a concentrate, so very, very simple to do. You can just get the one and get 60 litres worth, as it says on the side there, or you can go for that double up deal and get both of those if you want.
And I think one of the main mistakes people make with a houseplant, they buy it, they never repot it, and they never feed it. You just water it, and eventually it runs out of nutrients. It runs, it starts to get exhausted. So feeding houseplants is actually really, really important, and that is a premium houseplant food called Houseplant Focus. Either buy one for £6.99, or you can double up and go for 2 for, say, £11.99. Now, repotting houseplants, I've done a little video actually on our website. You can use our multi-purpose.
You can.
Which is great for most houseplants, pretty much all of them. I'd say with the exception of some of them, maybe the succulents. But we have got a specialist houseplant for you, compost house for... hang on, let me get my teeth in. A specialist houseplant compost for you. That was good, Bex, wasn't it?
You're doing well.
I woke. Do you know what? I
slept in this morning.
I slept in this morning. I had a really deep night's sleep, and I slept in, and it's taken me like a couple of hours to wake up. But also, this is a smaller bag, so if you don't want to buy 100 litres of our premium compost, this is only an 8-litre bag, and it's only £7.99.
It is peat-free as well.
Yes,
so if you're into your peat-free, and that's important to you, then yes, this is the one to go for. Obviously, our premium professional compost, which we love love and adore does have peat in, but I understand some people do want to be peat free, so yeah, go for this one if that's the case.
Now, something that is really important with a lot of houseplants is making sure that their leaves are clean and shiny, particularly things like rubber plants. If you let too much dust get on them, they can't photosynthesize, they don't grow as well. We have got a brilliant shine that actually really makes those leaves look great but perform even better.
Absolutely, and you know, as Sean said, keeping them dust free so that they can do that photosynthesis process is really, really important. So spraying this on there does actually help to stop that dust from settling, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And it gives it a lovely
look at that,
the difference, that shine.
We actually we used this on our rubber plant recently, and what a difference it made. So very important. You know, certain plants say they do sometimes gather dust, particularly the ones with bigger leaves and flat leaves. So this really helps just give them that shine, but stop that dust from settling as well. Stu's got some nice plants, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Hasn't he?
He's got more than we realise, hasn't he?
Yeah. But that's setting us from the great name of Baby Bio as well. A company synonymous with healthy houseplants, and that's 150110.
Oh, hang on, we've got a Monstera coming up apparently. We've got to see the Monstera.
Come on, Stu.
Oh, is it on the monkey leaf? Oh, look. Wow.
Wow. Wow.
That's a great difference.
Wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's an amazing shiny difference on there.
So it does make a big difference, and we have got, let's say, just $7.49. You can add that to your basket. So if you manage to get to £40, you will get free delivery as well. Now, I like this one. I think for anybody that's maybe, again, not that great with houseplants, don't know when to feed them, then Baby Bio have got a drip feeder that does it all for you. And it's only $2.99. So you literally just pop that in the pot and it feeds them for every 4 weeks, doesn't it?
That's brilliant, isn't it?
Yeah.
So you take the top off, don't you?
Yeah. And literally just
stick it in the pot like that.
Put it in.
And it'll just gradually drip feed that into the compost, and then the plant can suck up what nutrients it needs.
And it does that for a period of over 4 weeks. So
that's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Nice and easy. I mean, I love it when we're just making things nice and easy, basically.
Yeah. So anyway, a few little extras there, and don't forget we've got some lovely pot covers as well, which do make such a difference. So the biggest one we've got here is this one, which is the 25 centimetres. So that would be great for...
That would work for the Areca palm, wouldn't it?
I think that would be perfect.
Yes.
Oh, now we're talking.
Oh, look at that.
Oh.
And that lovely anthracite, that grey colour, that's going to work in everybody's homes, isn't it? Really makes that plant stand out.
That is classy, isn't it?
Adore that.
Oh, I like that.
I do love an Areca palm too.
I do.
So, dead classy.
And that again, if you're looking for a pet-friendly plant, the Areca palm is pet-friendly as well. But that is the biggest pot width we've got there. In the anthracite, $16.99. Or we've got a double-up deal on the 22s, the Eco Pots.
Yeah, so we've got either the espresso colour or we've got the latte colour. Now, these have got the nice texture, the stripes down the side of here. The flecks that you can see in here, these are actually really interesting because these are made up of... in here, look, can you see? So these are actually made up of, they're wood chippings, aren't they?
Yeah.
So these have been, and it's the byproducts of furniture manufacturing. So it's great that they've been, using up those byproducts, but they are made up from 100% recycled materials. Oh, and the colour of the coffee one, the espresso one, is actually made up from coffee grounds.
So 100% eco-friendly.
Yeah, really eco-friendly.
The double-up deal on those is amazing. They're $5.99 each, or 2 for $9.99. I love the latte because that's my favourite coffee, but it's also one of my favourite colours. And I've just popped in the Dracaena here, the dragon tree. Doesn't that look great?
Yeah, it does.
And they've only said they work out £5 each. Again, the same story, all made from recycled material, all 100% eco-friendly, but giving you fantastic looking plants. And it does make a difference. You do need a pot cover, don't you? You do.
Yeah, absolutely do. It really does. I mean, just from a practicality point of view, when you water your plants, you don't want all that water dripping out onto the carpet or, onto your furniture or anything.
Don't forget... Don't let any of the plants, with the exception of the trumpet pitcher plant, none of them want to be sat in water. They don't want wet roots. That will make them rot. It's a lot easier to underwater, actually. But just bear that in mind. But they are lovely pots, those, aren't they? Right.
I think we're going to go and have a look at some bundles now.
They're really good value.
And I'm quite pleased with can we do the pet-friendly one first?
Well, as soon as you've got a puppy arriving,
well, yeah,
as soon as I've got a very inquisitive cat.
It's quite important to a lot of people, and I understand this. As I say, Sean and I both got lots of houseplants. We've got toxic houseplants when we've both got pets.
Yeah.
Now, you might be thinking, well, you're very irresponsible pet owners. But no, we know our pets, don't we? My dog is not bothered by any of the plants that I've got in the house. He will chew anything outdoors, but for some reason he will not chew the plants indoors. So I know it's okay. Might be different when my puppy comes tomorrow, but you know, I'll keep an eye on things.
We would always want it to be safe. I mean, I've got some plants in my collection that are not necessarily 100% pet friendly. There's a couple that I do avoid with my cat, but again, the only plant inside that my cat loves chewing, the spider plant. He loves it.
Does he love it?
Yeah. Good job. I've got about 20 of them, so you know. I sort of like cycle them round, but for some reason, my cat loves grassy type plants.
Yeah, well, this is the collection for pet lovers, for pet owners. If you're looking for just the pet-friendly ones, you don't want to take the risk, then this is the collection for you to go for. So we've got the Tenanthe Belmarxii included in that collection. This is pet-friendly. You do not need to worry about this one in your home. We talked about this one earlier. It's called the prayer plant because it will sort of move its leaves around, likes a little bit of humidity, not a diva at all, but very, very beautiful in the markings.
We've also got the Nephrolepsis, I know it's Boston fern, and we were actually, if you're wondering, we were looking early, weren't we? These were actually cultivated in Boston in the 1900s, weren't they?
Yes,
So
well, they
nice
were named that because they were moved from somewhere to Boston, and that's where the name came from.
Yeah, a big batch of similar ferns came to Boston, but one stood out, was slightly different, and basically it was cultivated there and became known as a Boston fern. That is a really easy one as well. I love that one.
Really popular houseplant because you get a lot of plant for your money. It's quite elegant. You get those arching fronts, and it's really easy to look after and pet friendly, obviously.
And then,
of course,
yay!
And no houseplant collection is complete if you haven't got a spider plant in it, is it?
I don't think so.
You have to have a spider plant. Now, as I said earlier, this is the one plant that my mum did seem to be able to keep alive in the houseplant collection.
Is she ever watching, by the way?
She'll tune in for 10 minutes at a time, so sometimes she's watching. Hopefully it's not when I'm taking the mickey out of her. Sorry, Mum, if you're watching. But yeah, she's brilliant at gardening, but for some reason rubbish at houseplants. But this is one that she could absolutely keep going.
To be fair, all three of those, not only are they pet friendly,
super easy.
Yeah, all three of those are really, really easy.
Yeah, for sure.
And they're working out, bear in mind, they are big, they are in 12 centimetre pots, they're working out about £6.66 each. Club members, they work out exactly £6 each. I mean, that is a lovely plant for £6, isn't it? I mean, the Boston fern.
I do love a Boston fern. You know how much we love ferns. Because we've talked a lot about ferns, haven't we, and outdoors, but the fern indoors is gorgeous.
We were having a chat earlier, because Boston ferns, they ideally like a bit of humidity. We always say bathrooms and stuff.
Yeah.
And I've got mine in the driest room in the house.
Not in much light either, you were saying.
No, and it does great there. It just... we're going to give you the best advice we can, but sometimes the odd plant seems to thrive in the incorrect position. Mine's done great.
There's always the exception to the rule, isn't there?
It's
There's always
really
one that
happy, so
sits
I'm not
apart.
going to move it. I mean, I put it there thinking, but it loves it there. So that is a lovely collection, great value, but all pet friendly as well. And so it works out just £6 per plant for club members. I'm not being funny, but my local supermarket, and it's quite a high-end one, they sell houseplants. I would say the Fishbone prayer plants. Well, I reckon that would be £15 there, at least.
At least,
maybe 18.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that is one of my favourites. Stunning, isn't it?
So pretty, isn't it?
Tenanthe, I know it's a Fishbone prayer plant, Boston fern, and the spider plant as well. However, we've got...
this is a great collection. This collection here, there's 6 plants in here.
All of this.
We'll break it all down for you.
So what are you thinking at home? 6 plants?
40 quid.
Oh,
35.
I'd say 45, wouldn't you?
Would you?
6. Well, look, even at £7 a plant, that would be 42.
Right. No, you're right. You're right.
I would say. I mean, look at this. If we said the 6 plants, £8 each, that would be £48. And I think £8 for any of these plants.
For how big they are. I mean, look at that one. Look at the size we're talking about. The Cody Ian Petra. That one. Oh.
I mean, you'd pay £15, £20 for that, wouldn't you?
I would happily pay 20 quid for that.
We won't give you the price yet. So you've got, I know that is Joseph's coat, the Cody Ian.
Yep.
We have got the Dracaena. our dragon tree.
You can't kill those.
No, actually.
Indestructible.
Yeah.
My husband's tried. It won't die.
We've got this is known as the rubber plant, or the Ficus elastica.
How old is your mum's?
It's from a cutting, but it's 40 odd years old. Mum's watching. Hello, Mum.
Good morning. Decades they can be in your house, can't they?
We've had ours 45 years.
It's like a heritage plant. You can pass that down to your family.
And they do kind of bush out as well.
Camedria elegans, also known as the parlour palm, very slow growing, very easy to look after, lovely upright growth. Just simple, that one.
I love the asparagus fern. This is one great for the bathrooms. Again, loves humidity. I love it. It's soft.
It's very tactile, isn't it? You want to touch it.
Yeah.
You want to touch it.
So again, just how much would you pay for each one of these plants? Because I'm thinking even £10 each would be good.
And then we've got the Dracaena compacta, basically, which will grow very much like the other dragon tree. It's got a little bit smaller, but it's got broader leaves. I quite like that one. I think I prefer that one.
I think £10 a plant would be good value, don't you?
Yeah.
And you get free delivery, because that would work out £60 free postage.
Yeah.
But the price is nothing like that. In fact, I was telling my friend Mike about the price on this.
Were you?
Yeah. Earlier, and we're not looking at £60.
We're not looking at £60. We're not even looking at £50.
No. Apparently, we're not even looking at 40.
It gets even better. Go on, Stu. Tell them what it is.
So for everyone watching right now, if you're thinking, do you know what, Sean and Bex, I'm going to go for the houseplant collection. I am going to try houseplants. We're going to tell you which room would be best for each one, but this is a pretty easy collection. So, are you ready for the price? Look at that! Do you know what? Even our usual price is really low.
I know.
But for all of our 45,000 club members, $26.99. So £27 divided by 6, I make that £4.50 a plant. I mean, £4.50, Bex.
£4.50 for that.
I know. I mean, come on.
£4.50.
Do you know what? Again, if that one plant was $26.99, okay, you wouldn't maybe think it was the best buy, but I don't think you necessarily question it.
I wouldn't.
No, it's crazy.
Wouldn't. I mean, we always go to this one because obviously it's kind of the most colourful one that we've got in the collection, and they're also very different as well, by the way.
Yeah.
This is the great thing to tell you about this, because they are just no two of them are alike, and when you look at the foliage colours, look at that against that one. Or that one.
I mean,
like the colours you've got are absolutely incredible. And some are more green. Right. You've got some lovely fresh new leaves coming out here, look, and they are very sort of light limey green colour, but then they're going to age and mature and turn into these gorgeous colours.
Now again, that loves bright but indirect light, likes humidity as well, so bathroom, kitchen, but it is a beautiful plant. Now this one is pretty much impossible to kill. This is the Dracaena, the dragon tree. Marginata, because it's got these lovely kind of pinky edges to the leaves, but fairly slow growing. To me, it's a little bit similar to yucca. You can forget to water it. Bright light, but it'll tolerate a little bit of a shady corner. The worst that happens, if you underwater this, the bottom leaves will go yellow, then brown and come off, and that is literally it.
And they do tend to do that anyway, because that's obviously how it forms this stem here.
But that's a really easy one. It's beautiful.
Yeah. Camedria elegans, super simple. So this can actually cope with slightly lower light levels.
Oh, that looks nice.
It's quite slow growing as well, which I quite like about this, because sometimes you just need something to fit into that corner, so it's not going to take over. Really slow growing, very easy to look after, this one.
Do you know what I'm going to ask you? Because I want everyone not to pay postage either. So I think we need to add 6 pot covers to the order, because then you get free postage, wouldn't you? 3 of each colour, yeah.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Yeah, so 3 latte, 3 of the espresso. Then we've got the Ficus elastica. Most people know this as a rubber plant. I remember seeing these in India when I travelled to India a few years ago, and there's a couple that were amazing. They were huge. I mean, absolutely gorgeous. But they grow very well as a houseplant in the UK. Again, indirect light. I let mine dry out a little bit between waterings. Fairly slow growing, but they do live for decades. They're a very long-lived plant in the UK, and they're called the rubber plant because you probably know if you ever cut into this, then you'll get like a white, sort of like creamy liquid, and that's actually latex and used in rubber manufacturing for many years.
Same with this, by the way. So my husband's got one of these. It's now mine. I've taken over the care of it. He had one since he was at university, which is a long time ago.
That's,
ancient. And he tried to kill it. He just didn't look after it at all. Didn't water it, didn't repot it. The thing had been in the same pot for 30 years. I took over the control of it, the care of it, had to smash into the pot. There was no compost left. The poor thing was just a root ball. But it was spindly, but it still had green leaves up at the top. So I repotted it in our premium professional compost. And it has now shot up. It's got an extra stem that's come up. It is so healthy.
Oh.
But I just wanted to say that because you'll have it for decades, and it is indestructible, despite my husband's best effort at trying to kill it.
And the cousin to this is the other Dracaena that I've got here, which is, I call it the compactor. Really, say, a little bit broader leaves, a little bit more compact in terms of height. And then finally, we have got the
asparagus fern. Yeah, that lovely fine, fuzzy foliage. This one does like a little bit of moisture, I will say that one. So I think that really likes to be in a humid room.
Now, we think this is going to fly today. We want every single one of you that's thinking, I'd like to try houseplants. The value that we've put together here is just outstanding. Club members, $26.99. But we are going to recommend getting the pot covers to go with it. And we've done a little example basket for you. So if you went for this and you went for, so there it is. And we've added 3 of each of the pot covers there. 3 of the espresso, 3 of the latte. Now, we haven't used the code yet, which is why we're paying $53.92 and we're paying postage. So put in the code YGTV4824, apply the code, and there you go.
Oh, look at that. Perfect. Just over the £40 mark, you've got your free postage and you're getting your free gift included in there. You might want to keep all 6 of those plants. You might want for every room in your home. However, if you don't, if you're looking at it and going, oh, I only want the Joseph's Coat and the Dracaena marginata, you've then got 4 presents for other people, which has cost you about
£7 a present.
Thank you, £7 a present. And they will have those plants for years. And you've given them a really easy to look after plant as well.
If you
love that.
Look at this. If you gave that as a present to somebody,
I would be your best friend forever.
£7 that's worked out, and that's including the pot cover. You know, and actually any of these plants in the pot cover, look, stunning. And they're working out £7, less if you're a club member. I mean, the value here is just outstanding, isn't it?
Love it.
Oh, I tell you, let's just put the asparagus fern in there as well.
Come on.
I think that looked nice.
Got to show them all.
But
I love that.
I mean, look, that's wonderful. That is going to transform a bathroom and kitchen, isn't it?
Yeah.
Beautiful. And none of these in this collection, the variety mix, none of them are difficult.
No.
There's no divas.
Not a diva
no
at all.
No high maintenance. You're all easy, aren't you,
Not
children?
in the slightest.
No, it's a lovely collection, is that. But as I say, if you go for the pot covers, that would take your basket to over £40, and then using the code, you would get free delivery as well. I think that is super. I'm not being funny. If I didn't already have 80 houseplants, I'd be buying that, wouldn't you?
It's great value.
Yeah.
And some really cleverly selected plants.
Bex and I, we're happy to admit to our mistakes when it comes to gardening, because nobody's perfect. And I did make a little mistake with my Codium, because I moved it into too shady a room. It's in the bathroom, so it's actually really healthy there, but it's lost a lot of its colour because it's not getting quite enough light.
That's what will happen. So, I mean, this one's a particularly brightly coloured one. Actually, in winter time, it'll probably lose a little bit of its colour just because there's less light anyway. But you definitely want to put it in a nice bright room, not in direct light, but a nice bright room if you want the best colour. Right,
let us know if you're buying that today, because that is honestly such a good deal. And obviously, we've only got so many of those. What tends to happen is, obviously, we put the bundle together from individual plants, but some of them are quite low stock, so we've only got so many of the houseplant variety bundle. Now we have got a smaller version as well.
Yeah, so
this is cute.
So you're still getting 6 plants included in this collection, but these are in the 9cm pot, so slightly less established, a little bit more petite, but a couple of different varieties included in here as well. So we're starting off at the top here. We've got the Camaderia elegans, which we've talked about in that other collection. That lovely upright growth going on there. We've got the spider plant included, good. Again, we've talked about this one. Oh, is it dry?
Well, I just thought
it is a bit dry.
It looked a little bit floppy, just a little bit. And it's
do you
just
want to put it in a pot? It's going to go straight through there, I reckon.
It's having a treat today. It's having bottled water. It doesn't need it.
All right, so we'll give that one a nice little drink. But this one here, this one's one that I absolutely adore. This is called Tradescantia or Spider Lily. And I just think, look at the foliage you've got on there. Look how dramatic that is.
And again, a lot of you, if you're my sort of age, you remember that with the spider plant. There were two kind of classics as I was growing up. Again, it can be quite fast growing. It's very easy to propagate. You can literally just take a shoot off that.
I've done exactly that. I've got some propagated.
I bet it rooted in about a week.
Oh, I tell you what, I can't believe how fast it's grown. At a point in the year when plants are going dormant and starting to slow down, this one does not seem to slow down.
No, it doesn't.
Honestly, I had a root, I mean, I'd say it's about that big. And I potted it up, and I swear to you, within 6 weeks, it is now this long.
Yeah.
That's how quick it has grown.
So easy to propagate, fast growing, and an absolute winner. Some people call that wandering dude nowadays as well. I like this one.
I think this one's quite unusual, which is why I really enjoy this one. This one needs a drink as well.
We call it the Chinese money plant. It's got so many names, this one. Lily pad plant, UFO plant, pass me on plant. And this actually came from China in the 1940s, brought over to UK. It wasn't commercially available, so the only way of getting this plant was if somebody gave you a little baby from it, and it became known as a pass me on plant or the friendship plant.
And it does create babies, so very much like the spider plant that we're giving a little treat up here, this one will create these little side shoots, and it looks like a miniature one of the big one. All you have to do is then pull it away. So you'd take it out the pot. I was taking it out to see if there was any growing, but there isn't at the moment. But then all you'll do is pull that away. As long as it comes away with some roots, you can pot it up and you're good to go. Again, I've got 2 of these on the kitchen windowsill that are growing basically from offshoots from another one.
And that one, it's another one that you need to rotate fairly regularly because it does tend to grow very rapidly towards the light. So if you want it to be nice and even, just rotate it.
It's so weird though, isn't it?
It's lovely.
In a good way,
like round leaves.
I love something just that little bit out of the ordinary.
And it's another one that's supposed to be associated with wealth and prosperity. Some people see these as like coins kind of stacked up. We're not going to promise you're going to become a millionaire overnight, but it's I love it. It's very different. And this is sweet, isn't it?
Love this.
It's like my beard.
It's so soft.
And
it's an asparagus fern.
But a little bit more compact, this one.
A little bit more compact, a little bit more fuzzy. Yeah, I mean, the texture of that is incredible, isn't it?
And again, with it being a fern, it's got to tolerate fairly low light levels as well.
Low light levels. We want to keep it sort of, regularly moist, but to be honest, it's not a diva at all.
But great, again, for bathrooms, kitchens. And then one I haven't got is the Asian bell.
No, I haven't got this one either.
I don't know why.
I don't know, because it looks a bit like a herb to me. It looks like a little herb growing. It looks like a coriander or something. But it's really easy to look after.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah, it's got that kind of look to it, hasn't it? But quite natural, quite organic in its look. And another one that's been selected because it is relatively easy to look after.
And it always has a nice kind of glossiness to its foliage as well. So again, you look at the value, 6 of those. If you're club member, 16, 19. So we're talking about, what, £2.50 a plant? Just over?
Yeah.
I mean, amazing value.
Obviously, they're not as big as the previous collection, which is why, they come at a lower price point. So if you are, on a budget, but you still want a big collection, then you can get these and then you can nurture that plant. And there's nothing more satisfying, I think, than taking a plant and actually nurturing it and then growing it into something bigger.
And I always think, like, we've got
parenting is brilliant.
And I think you end up with plants in your home that you've had for many years. Say my mum's rubber plant is over 40 years old, and that's going to stay in the family for hopefully forever. In fact, I'm going to take a few more cuttings off it. I'm going to wait till spring, but I'm going to take a few more cuttings off it because I want it to continue. So we'd love to hear from you. It's, if you have just joined us, you're with myself, Sean Ryan, Bex Edwards, Stu, of course, is with us as well. But it is a YouGarden houseplant special show. We've got some amazing prices. And now we are heading into winter. We just want to encourage everybody to have a few more houseplants in the home because it does make a difference. Obviously, a lot of research has been done in terms of the properties of houseplants and air purifying, but also it's that feeling of well-being, isn't it? Being surrounded by greenery. Because I do get a little bit down in the winter when you can't go outside as much. But we are bringing the outside in. And any questions you've got, Bex and I, between us, we're going to answer. as many questions as possible. But also, we want to know from you, we want to know, what houseplants have you got? Which ones have you propagated? Which ones would you like to see more of? I'm looking now. What?
You can always find a plant that you want, can't you?
You can.
Always. Which one haven't I got yet?
I've bought a few more this week, and I really shouldn't have, but I honestly have got over 80 houseplants now. And I do manage to look after them all, and it is about getting to know your houseplants, knowing what they need. But if you are somebody that forgets to water plants, we've got houseplants for you. If you're somebody that's got low light levels in a room, we've got houseplants for you. If you've got maybe humid rooms, like, bathrooms, kitchens, we've got plants for you. So every single room in your home, we can find a houseplant that's going to be suitable.
It's got really cold in here. Have you noticed?
Has.
I'm just going to...
We should say all the houseplants that we have got do like a fairly warm room. So
yeah, absolutely.
I mean, the houseplants are going, hang on, it's a bit chilly for me today.
Ruth was just asking, actually, she's like, that Boston fern is tempting. Do they have the plant life guarantee? The lifetime guarantee that we do on plants is for our Windsor hardy garden plants. So no, these don't come with the lifetime guarantee. But Ruth, I will say that the Boston fern is a really easy one. Obviously, just keep them indoors. They generally with houseplants, they don't want to drop between 15 degrees or 10 degrees, but just keep them indoors. Make sure you keep those watering levels nice and regular on the Boston fern. Keep it in a bright room, out of direct light, and I think you'll find it very easy.
It is known to be a very low maintenance plant, but I love the Boston fern. Right, so go for it, Ruth. And say, you can always, if you have any problems, you can always drop us a message in the live shows. We can tell you how to make it thrive for many years to come. Right, we have got this
I love
cutie.
these.
Yeah, I've got a couple of these actually.
Yeah,
and they are. I think they're adorable. And when you look at the roots, it's a shame we haven't got more than one in the potting shed, because all of them, if you look at them in the greenhouse,
so unique.
They've all got different roots, haven't they?
So very unique.
These gnarled roots.
And I love it. Some of them look like, I think some of them look like kind of weird and wonderful creatures, kind of, crawling along the ground. But that's what makes this a really interesting plant. Now, this is probably about 15 years old already.
Yeah, the root is, we say about 15 years old.
Yeah.
And
look at the size of it. That's 15 years old. Look at the size, look at the price for a 15-year-old plant. And
if you are thinking, that looks like a little bit bonsai-esque, yes. If you want an introduction to a bonsai tree, and bonsais can be really tricky, this is a really easy one. Again, low maintenance, fairly slow growing, a lot of the work's been done for you, but visually they're stunning, aren't they?
Really stunning, yeah, and quite easy to look after. If I can show you around this side, look, you can see the different colours of the leaves up here. Actually, this one's super healthy and happy because those fresh leaves, the lighter coloured ones, those are the fresh leaves that are coming through. So this is actually still pushing out some nice fresh leaves at this time of year. What I find with mine is, and mine has been it's been everywhere in my house. Honestly, I put it in various different places. It's been a bright light position, been on the windowsill, south window, north window, been in the slightly darker hallway. I've put it in so many different places, and it just seems to be all right, no matter what I do with it. What I do is I go up to it and I'll tap it every now and then. If I give it a little tap, not for good luck, no. Just give it a little tap, and that is my way of finding out if it's got a problem. Because by tapping it, if it then drops some leaves, if it defoliates slightly, I'm like, okay, you need some attention. It's always water or light, isn't it? 9 times out of 10, well, 99 times out of 100, it's water or light that's the issue, either too much or too little. And then you just adjust your pattern accordingly.
I mean, mine are always in the same position, but I do occasionally underwater it, and you're right, it loses a few leaves, but that's it.
But this is the thing I found with the ficus ginseng particularly. You can, and it prefers to be slightly underwatered. This does not need a regular watering schedule at all. It does prefer, I think, slightly less water than any over-watering at all.
Shall I get a pot cover for it, Bex?
Yes, for sure. We left them over there. There's one with the asparagus. You got it. I think this is a great... Again, this one's a really good gift for yourself, of course. It's always good to buy yourself a present. But also, we're in the gifting season at the moment, aren't we? If you wanted to buy somebody a lovely, thoughtful gift that's easy to look after, that they could have for years, then the Ficus microcarpa ginseng is a great one. I also think a desk plant.
I do.
This is 100% out of everything that we have got here. I mean, there's one other. But yeah, this is the one. If you were looking for a desk plant, this is the one I'd go for.
But those kind of gnarled roots that you're seeing, they are, we say, on average, about 15 years old. So a lot of work goes into the cultivating and growing of these. But if you've always thought, I like the idea of a little bit of feng shui in my home, it's one of the easiest bonsai type plants that you could ever imagine growing. They are beautiful, they really are, and relatively slow growing. I will be honest, for some reason one of mine started to produce one long stem out of nowhere, so I did chop it.
Chop it off.
Yeah, I don't know why, it just went a bit misshapen, but they are very low maintenance.
Yeah, there's not really much pruning or anything you need to do to them, is there?
And that is only £14.99. And if you buy a pair of them, every single one is different. They are all the roots, as I say, they're slightly different, they're quirky, but really special one.
Aww.
Right, any comments back?
Ruth's just saying thank you. And I'm sure I just saw a comment from Elaine saying I like this one and then it disappeared. So hopefully you do like it.
Yes.
I'm sure it was there. It said I like this one and then it's gone.
Right, now we have got the Crash Levata, which is down the front. We had a question about this one. Now, my nan used to have one of these.
I'm sure my nan used to have one of these, actually.
Mine had it with all the cactuses.
Yes, with all the cactuses in the porch bit, in the window.
Got sunshine pretty much all the day.
All the time.
And, oh my word, so I've just seen the price.
Oh, what? $4.99? I'm going to buy one of them.
Right, so
at $4.99, I'm having that. Ryan. Right. I met Ryan yesterday.
Oh, I've never met Ryan.
I met Ryan.
What's he like?
He's lovely. I went out because I was in the office and he was like, oh, hi, I'm Ryan. I was like, Ryan.
So Ryan does all the prices. Hello, Ryan, if you're watching. Right, we had no idea.
I did not know the price on that.
So this one is, well, again, a very easy plant to grow. You can let this dry out completely between waterings. In fact, it will survive very nicely with no water at all for weeks and weeks. And it can go in a really bright, sunny position. I mean, most of the plants, if you've been listening, we've said indirect light. This is fine in direct light. And a lot of people know this, again, as a money plant. Many beliefs in terms of bringing you good luck, prosperity and wealth. Bex, it's done it again. Look, these £20.
These £20, they just keep coming.
They do. Look, where's all this money come from? They really are a brilliant plant. Now, very slow growing. My nan had us about 20 years, I think, 25 years.
Yeah.
And it was a bit more of like a mini tree kind of. But if you're looking for a plant that you don't have to water for weeks and weeks, that you can put in a really bright sunny position, this is definitely the one to go for. And a lot of people do call this a jade plant, don't they?
Yeah, it's because those leaves are supposed to look like, little pieces of jade, aren't they?
It's the same colour.
Absolutely. Yeah. I was saying, I haven't been to the Chinese for a little while, and Stu's just put it in my head. He's like, you've got one of these in your local Chinese takeaway, haven't you? Oh, now I want a Chinese for tea. But there is one there, and it is obviously a very old one because it's
like a tree.
It's massive. It is huge, but it sits right in the window, bright direct light, and it is so happy there.
But again, you'll often find them in certain commercial premises because they are believed to bring prosperity and luck. But it is a very, very easy one to look after. Now, very, very occasionally, like once in a blue moon, these actually flower and they produce these lovely little pretty kind of pinky flowers. But that happens so rarely. I mean, I never saw my nan's flower.
I don't think I did either.
But they do. I mean, it's like once in a blue moon. And I mean, if it flowers, I think that's supposed to mean that you're going to be literally showered in money bags.
That's the dream I had last night.
But,
showering in notes, money.
But that, at £5, that is fantastic.
That's a great price at £5.
Right, so,
well done, Ryan.
So I have got, and look, I think it's always good to share our plant disasters. Right? I have got a confession to make.
Oh, what have you done?
So I had a couple of these on my kitchen windowsill, and they were years old, right?
Right.
And I always used to forget to water them, and they were absolutely fine. For some reason, when I was repotting my plants, I thought, oh, I'll repot those. They didn't need it. I'd had them years. They were really happy. And in the process of repotting, I overwatered them.
Yeah. And that's it, done.
And I never kill plants. I'm really, really good. Yeah.
So overwatering is the death of most plants, but particularly... my word, what's the word I'm looking for?
Succulent.
Succulent, thank
there
you.
Go.
But particularly a succulent. They really don't like it.
But honestly, at $4.99, so the jade plant is phenomenal value. And let's hope it brings you luck, prosperity and everything else as well.
Oh, well, at $4.99, it's worth a try, isn't it?
I know.
Right, here we go. I'm going to wear the next plant because I could actually... The size of this is insane, honestly, and this is what I love about this particular Boston fir.
Right, what price are we doing this today for, Stu? This is a huge Boston fir.
It's the huge one. Oh, yeah, okay, good. Good.
Wow.
Right, so this comes in the 19 centimetre hang pot. So you've got the hanging attachment there. If you don't want it to hang, I can't even find where it is.
These are massive.
You can, because they're so, look, they're so luscious.
Huge.
Look, you can get down to where it attaches to the pot. There it is, look. Oh my word. And we can... That's how much foliage you're getting on here. That's crazy. Right, you can actually then just remove those. You can take that off very, very easily. And then you can just have it as a pot sitting on a table somewhere. But those hanging bits are attached, which means when you take this out of the box, all you have to do is hang it up. Yeah. You can hang it somewhere. Now, it is pretty easy to look after. Sean's experience is that it's really easy to look after. The advice on this is that it does actually like a little bit of humidity.
Yeah, I mean, people do say ideally bathrooms, kitchens. Mine isn't in a humid room. For some reason, it's doing great, but ideally you would do that. Or, as we said earlier, give it a good spray, a good mist now and again. Fairly slow growing, the Boston fern. So... to get one this size for under £20 is phenomenal. And to me, that is lush, it's beautiful. Imagine that in a bathroom. Imagine that in your kitchen.
So this is my dream for my next house, to get a nice big bathroom.
With that.
And I'm going to fill it with plants.
I mean...
So the bathroom is going to be a jungle. Going to drive my husband mad. I don't care. I'm going to play that theme tune, Stu. Welcome to the jungle. When I go and have a bath, that's going to be playing. I'm going to be in my jungle. I'm going to have plant life everywhere, and Boston fern is definitely going in there.
God. And we said the Netphlepsis is called Boston fern because these were actually cultivated in Boston in the 1900s and became a really, really popular plant there. And actually in Victorian times, really seen as a plant that kind of, represented prosperity.
Absolutely. Well, you know, plant hunters and things in Victorian times, it was a big thing, wasn't it? And if you had certain plants, you were up there. Yeah, absolutely.
So anyone that's been looking for the Boston fern or the Netphlepsis there, that is the biggest we do, and it is under £20 today. 800, 200.
I love that one.
It's amazing, that one.
Get
really
that
is.
one in your basket.
Right, now.
I've made a mess. On the floor, look. Craig will sweep it up for us later. He literally vacuumed this morning. Sorry, Craig.
Sorry.
If you're watching. What are we watching? Marenta tricolour, pitcher plants. We've got a few to show still, haven't we?
Yes.
Right, let's get... Where's the Marenta? Here's the Marenta. Can't see for looking sometimes, can we?
I know, we have got a jungle going on here. Now, again, this is one of the plants that, in terms of foliage, just stands out so much. Just look at the leaves on it, because not only have you got these wonderful colours, different shades of green, the red veins in there are actually ray. Oh my word, I've just seen the price, sorry. $9.99 for this one. So there's a lot of texture to the leaves.
Yeah, they're raised up slightly.
Yeah.
So you've got that texture there, but also the green parts of it, they feel so silky, so soft. And this one has, and I'm going to use the words, Sean, sorry, it has this wonderful sprawling habit. And it is a wonderful sprawling habit. If I put wonderful at the beginning, it makes it better, right?
No, do you know what? I'm only pulling Bex's leg. But actually, the way it grows is quite beautiful, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah.
So it doesn't get massively tall, and it's not going to keep spreading. It's not a trailing. No. It's not like epiprenum or something or other. It'll get to about, you know, we're talking maybe 30 centimetres high. It'll spread by about 50 centimetres. So it will happily sit in a pot like this, and it will just spread slightly. You could put this onto a bookshelf, and it will just tumble gently over the edge there. Or you could put it on a, you know, sideboard somewhere, and it would look beautiful there too.
But look at that in the dark, because the green really stands out. Now again, we always say bright indirect light, likes a bit of humidity. I've got one in my kitchen, it's doing really nice there. And it is one of those, the Maranta it's one of those weird plants, again, the prayer plant, that actually moves. So at night time, you will notice the shape changes. And don't think what on earth's happening to it. That is natural, and the reason it does that, it conserves energy. So as it gets darker, it actually moves, and the leaves close up a little bit. But it's a really great way that the plant looks after itself at night time. It is a stunner, and under £10 today. That's really beautiful.
Yeah,
now, we have had a question about the peace lily.
Yeah, so Stephen's messaged in, and he's asking about the flowers. Okay, so we've got two different options for you in peace lily. Let's go with the big one first, and we'll answer Stephen's question. So the flowers, as you can see here, the beautiful white flowers that you get on the peace lily, they're starting to go brown. So Stephen's asking, what should we do with those? Do I leave them? Do I cut them down? How do I do that? And it's really simple. The answer is yes, you cut them off. Get rid of them. They don't look very nice. And it'll stop the plant from giving its energy to those flowers, and actually then re-divert the energy and hopefully give you some more flowers coming up. So sometimes when they go over, what I found is you can actually just pull on the flower, and sometimes it comes away right at the base. Other times it needs a snip. So what you do is you take it as far down as you can get, and they actually all sort of form out of the side of the leaves. So sometimes you can't get right down to the base, but just go down as far as you can get and just snip it off.
And actually, my golden rule with all plants, any bits that have gone yellow, brown, just chop them off. You know, don't let that plant waste energy into damaged foliage, flowers that have gone over. For those of you that want to buy the Spathiphyllum, the peace lily, I have got a little story to tell you. A friend of mine got divorced.
I love this story.
It's true.
I love this story.
Had a really traumatic marriage. So he got divorced.
Don't we all?
Bought himself a peace lily. He's really happy, and his peace lily is really happy. And he's not a plant person, but he's had it years.
He's got some
and it
peace.
does really well.
Got some peace in his life.
There is one thing we do need to say about this plant. It really lets you know when it needs watering.
Yeah, so, I like that.
I do. It's not like some plants do that. If they're under or overwatered, they do the same thing, like, say, yellow leaves. This one, it's really obvious when it needs watering. It literally will do that, and it'll do it overnight. So one day it can like that, next morning it should be like this. Do not worry, because you can give it a drink of water. I think we've got a video of it, actually, slow motion video. Give it a water, and within about an hour it's back to its fabulous self.
Right back up again. It's so quick, it's so easy. And it's quite, it can get quite big as well. We are talking, I mean, look how tall these flowers are here, but we are talking it could get a bit taller as well. I mean, my one that I used to have used to get a good metre in height. And the way that the leaves form, they've just got come up and out. So a good sort of 60, 70, maybe even 80 centimetres width here as well. You can obviously keep it a little bit smaller. You can divide it. You know, if it gets too big, you can actually restrict the size of it. But if you want something luscious and beautiful, great big shiny leaves on there, you can get it to go quite big.
And the flowers, they do last a long time. We say flowers,
ages.
Technically they're spades, aren't they?
Yeah. It's a modified leaf, technically.
Yeah, but you don't need to worry about that. We think of them as flowers, don't they? But they do last a long, long time.
Weeks and weeks and weeks, but they do go brown, they do go over, so just snip those off as they do, and then you'll get more coming through.
And you know, earlier we had the ficus that said keep it away from drafts. This loves a fresh breeze.
It doesn't mind at all. Not bothered.
So they're all different.
Not bothered. Put it somewhere nice and bright, though. I do think that makes a big difference to the amount of flowers you'll get. If it doesn't get enough light, you'll still have luscious foliage and it'll still be a beautiful plant, but you won't get as many flowers at all.
So that's the big one. It's only $9.99 today. The Spathiphyllum sweet, say, silver peace lily. We have got the Cupido, which is the dinky one.
Yeah, it's just a little bit more dainty, and it will stay a bit more compact as well, Cupido. So it still get a little bit bigger. It can still get to 50 by 50 centimetres, but doesn't get quite as big as the sweet silver.
And what price have we got for this one, Stu?
Here it comes.
I'm hoping it's, I was going to say, I hope it's,
$4.99. Yeah, really good one. So another pretty easy one to look after. If you think that houseplants are, you're not very good with houseplants. If you kill houseplants, I would recommend a peace lily because they are quite easy.
Yeah, and I always think that the peace lily, it does look classy. I always think the white flowers, or the spathes, as we said, they really, really just add an elegance to it. And at $4.99, fantastic value for money. Now, don't forget, if you spend over £40 today, you will get free postage. So I know it's a houseplant special, but if there's anything maybe that you saw on last week's show that you got your eye on, maybe thinking, I could do with some compost, some strolch. If there are, say, outdoor plants that you've got your eye on, as long as your whole order comes to over £40, it doesn't have to be just things on this show. Anything from our website, as long as your order comes to over £40, you'll get free delivery, as long as you use the code YGTV at 4824. You could be buying the mini orchard, you could be buying the hedging that we had on last week. Right, we've got some pictures.
We've got a question from Mr. Busby.
Hello, Mr. Busby.
He was talking about the peace lily. He says he's had his for over a year, never flowered again. What am I doing wrong? Well, there's a few things that we're going to suggest. First of all, make sure it's in a nice bright position. Yeah. That definitely makes a difference to flower production. And
I would say, have you ever fed it? Is it in the same pot? If it's been in the same pot for a year, maybe it just needs a feed, or it might need repotting as well.
Yeah, there is a free gift, which is a Blooming Fast fertiliser. So if you buy something today, that will come with your order. We've also got the Houseplant Focus, which is the liquid, so the dilute liquid that we can recommend for you. Might be worth giving it a little feed.
And in terms of knowing if it needs repotting, I mean, the general thing...
That one needs repotting.
Yeah, just look at the pot it's in. If it's got roots coming out the bottom, it will need repotting. But it sounds like it's nice and healthy, so I think if I had to put money on it... Where's all my money gone, Pex? Where's it gone?
I have no idea.
I would say it probably isn't getting quite enough light.
Light, nutrients, repot it, try all of those things. Bear in mind, I mean, it should, it's a houseplant. It should still keep flowering over winter, but they do slow down a little bit in winter. So you're going to do all these things, and you might not see anything. It might take until spring for it actually to do something, but it might work.
My friend asked me the same question a little while ago, last year sometime, and she'd had hers for like 3 or 4 years, and she'd never fed it, and she'd never repotted it.
There you go.
So, and the moment, and I actually gave a bit of our Blooming Fast, and I would say within a couple of months, it flowered.
It came.
Yeah. So anyway, hopefully
I hope it works. Let us know. Keep us informed.
Yes. Right. We mentioned earlier, none of the houseplants want to be sitting in water, but there's one exception.
This is the exception.
And it's a really weird plant, this one.
Yeah,
it's wonderful.
I love this one. So this is the trumpet pitcher plant, Sarracenia stevensii. This is a carnivorous plant. So this is one you do not feed. Do not give this Blooming Fast. Do not use that Houseplant Focus on this one. You'll kill it if you do. It does not want it. It will feed itself. It will catch the flying bugs and insects. It will catch it within those trumpets. It then releases this kind of enzyme, doesn't it, which breaks it down and it feeds itself.
It's actually a really clever plant in terms of its design. So the insects, they actually land on these flat pads here. So see that as a landing pad. Then they actually can smell nectar. So if I just show you around here, this is all nectar. So what the insect will do, it'll go from there, and then it'll go, oh, that smells nice. Oh, there's some nectar on there. Then it'll go in there. And then inside here, it's actually really slippy. So the insect slides all the way down and then is trapped at the bottom, and as Bex said, that's where it's actually digested by the plant. So it's so clever. And actually those little kind of lids stop rainwater going inside there as well.
Yes, I like that.
So clever, isn't it?
Yeah.
Now, a lot of people ask at this time of year, are there enough insects around to feed it? It needs very little in the winter.
They're going dormant.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's like they hibernate, basically. Most plants, they go dormant in winter. They don't have major vigorous growth spurts. And that's exactly what's going to happen to the Sarracenia as well. It will go quiet. It does not need as much moisture as it does, as much food as it does in the summertime. So it's going to be absolutely fine. Don't feel like you need to, catch bugs and feed it to this. It doesn't need it.
But this one naturally grows in swamps. So it likes to be sitting in water.
And you must keep it sat in water. I've got one of these, and it was sat on my kitchen windowsill, and I was doing a TikTok live the other night.
Right, go on.
And somebody said, "Can we look at the trumpet picture?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, I'll go and get it." And I brought it out, and I was like, "Oh, oh, it was so." You know when you pick it up and you can tell instantly because it was so light. I was like, "Oh, I've let it It had completely dried out, so I really soaked it." So what you want to get is one of our pot covers. Always water from the bottom, not from the top. So fill the pot cover up with water and sit the pot in it. Keep it consistently moist. Don't let it dry out. I think it's fine.
Good.
But that is not the advice I'm giving you. Always keep moisture in there.
Rainwater.
Rainwater, please.
This one. I mean, to be fair, most of the plants would probably benefit from rainwater because a lot of them, you know, they come from...
I mean, do you know what? There's a couple. Like, I mean, Dracaena marginata, honestly, is not going to care whether you give it rainwater or tap water. But our advice really is, for your house plants, use rainwater, not tap water, because they pretty much just hate the chemicals in our tap water.
But that one, it's 100% needs rainwater.
Yeah.
100%.
If you don't have access to rainwater, which I know sounds weird because we all live in the UK and we all know how much it rains here, but sometimes I run out of rainwater. Sometimes I do.
How?
I do. Well, I haven't attached a water butt for starters to the house.
Oh, okay.
Get yourself a water butt. That's the way to do it. But sometimes if you run out, it's fine. Don't worry. You can still use tap water. Just put it into a bucket or put it into something and leave it to stand for 24 hours because a lot of the chemicals do evaporate and then you can use it. But if you can, just use rainwater.
Can I just say as well, if you've got children, grandchildren, and you're looking for a Christmas gift, it's 4 weeks today, Christmas, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, 4 weeks yesterday.
Is it?
4 weeks yesterday.
Oh, that's made me feel sick.
Yeah, 4 weeks yesterday will be Christmas Day.
I've still got lots of shopping to do.
That is a brilliant one to get the kids involved because there's a story to it. It's weird, it's wonderful. So I'm so grateful. My mum and my grandma got me into gardening from, I think from the age of about 4 or 5, I started to garden. That is a wonderful one for the children to get involved with. They'll love the story. They'll love to know what happens to those insects. And it is only $7.99 today. Oh, that's a great one for the kids.
It's really good. Yeah, really good. Just a bit unusual for sure.
It is the trumpet picture plant there, the Sarracenia, and if you'd like to go for it, it's only $7.99. Right, we've got I can see a plant picture.
Yeah,
picture.
Just mirroring. Grimmy has sent us a picture, and he said, "Here is the one I bought from you." This is the Areca palm, by the way.
Nice.
Here is the one I bought from you in December last year. It's the only plant that I haven't killed. That just made me laugh so much. I mean, look at that, though. Look at how that... Just try and picture that without the plant there.
It'd look boring, wouldn't it?
And look how it just brightens that up. That's beautiful. A lovely spot for it as well.
I mean, that actually is a very nice bathroom, I have to say. But that against the white looks incredible,
it's very standout.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
I think he's got the, so that was the shorter Areca palm. Because
we've got a big one of them.
We do a shorter one, which I think is the one that Grimmy's got there. The one we've got today.
Look at this beauty.
This is the big one. Okay. So this is for the person who wants to make an instant impact and is really impatient and can't be bothered to wait. Because this has grown to sort of full size. It looks incredible. It's a pet-friendly one as well, which I really enjoy about this.
I think that's great.
Because I think if you do have the pets and you are worried about them, chewing or getting anything, you don't have to worry about it with this one. I actually really like the stems on here as well because they have they've got a kind of yellowy colour to them, and then it goes up to just this beautiful ferny foliage up at the top.
And again, I think the Areca palm is actually really quite an easy palm to grow.
I agree. This one definitely wants rainwater though. And I did use tap water a couple of times on this, and actually what's happened is that some of the leaves up at the top, they've gone really brown and crispy, and I don't think they're going to come back, so I'm probably just going to have to trim them. Areca palms definitely do not want your tap water, please.
And it does like, again, a bright position.
Yeah. I don't think it needs the most light.
I'm going to say, mine's not. It's kind of like, it's bright, but it's moderate, I'd say.
Yeah, moderate.
And mine does let me know when it needs a drink. It just goes a little bit sort of floppy, just a little bit, like that, just a little bit.
It's one of the more expensive of the items we're bringing you, but for the size that we're bringing you, that price, honestly, is very, very good.
It's very lush looking. Now, annoyingly at home, let's be honest, it's a penny under £40.
That's so annoying.
So at the moment you've got postage on it, but if you had one item to your basket, maybe a pot.
Get a pot cover.
That takes
or get the jade, which was what was it? The jade was $4.99, wasn't it? What was the other one that was $4.99?
The Cupido.
The Cupido, that one. Those are $4.99. So if you added those in, it would be cheap. That would be cheaper than paying the $6.99 postage because that's only $4.99.
So we always say, play around with the maths in your baskets, and
we're just going to try it in a 22 centimetre.
Yeah, it'll
Because we've got it in the 25 at the minute. It might be a bit too tall. That's my only concern.
I think it's better than the one I showed.
Yeah. So sometimes we do.
See,
the pot is just a little bit too tall.
Yeah.
So unless you repotted this into a slightly smaller or shorter nursery pot, you want to go for the 25 centimetre.
But it's a beautiful plant, and as we've said, it is one of all the large plants that we have on the website with YouGarden, that is the pet-friendly one. You get lost in that jungle, Bex.
It's just like you're in a jungle, isn't it? You go through it like, hello.
We're celebrities. Get us out here, Bex. Get us out.
That's what I was thinking. Oh, I wish I'd love to go on that.
I would.
I'd love to be celebrity enough to be able to go on that programme. I'd love it.
Anyway, if you'd like to go for the anthracite pot there, it is only £16.99. 130475.
I'd be so good on that programme.
You would actually be good at the challenge, wouldn't you?
I'd love it.
Yeah. I'd just be eye candy, Bex.
That's exactly it, Sean.
Yeah.
I completely understand.
Yeah.
Because you look like Scott Mills. Sean did a video and it went out on TikTok. Because we're on lots of different platforms. You all know this, don't you? So we're on TikTok as well. Sean did a video that went on TikTok. And there's been several comments that have come in there going, oh, I thought it was Scott Mills.
Well,
do you know who Scott Mills is? He's a Radio 1 DJ.
Yeah. He's not bad looking.
He's not bad looking.
Yeah,
he said Scott Mills or Gary Barlow. He
likes
the Gary Barlow comment.
I like the Gary Barlow. Oh, I thought it was Gary Barlow. I was like, oh, yeah, take that. Only one person said Gary Barlow, Bex.
Right. Let's tell you about the double up deals that we've got because these are fantastic. Okay, so we genuinely believe that this is going to be the most popular that we've got for you. Hang on, I've got to move all these things out of the way.
Right,
we've got 3 options.
There you go, Bex.
And you can choose which 2 you want. Now, if you want 2 the same, you can go for 2 the same. But if you want a spider plant and an epiprenum, you can do that. You need to put the 2 you want into your basket, enter the code, and that's where you're going to get those savings come up for you.
Now, for anybody that's looking for a super easy plant, any of these,
definitely
super easy, whichever 2 you go for.
Grimmy.
Yes. Anyone that goes, oh, I can't go plants.
Elaine, all the people that have said, I'm not very good at houseplants, I promise you, any of these will be fine.
We should have called this the super easy collection. So the epiprenums, they're known as devil's ivy. The reason being they are really hard to get rid of. Yeah. They are really kind of pretty much impossible to get rid of. So in their native countries, imagine these growing jungles, they actually climb trees. They've got aerial roots, they climb trees. In their native countries, a leaf can be as big as a metre.
It can, can't it? They can get really big.
Yeah. Now, it doesn't happen in the UK. Do not worry. No. These are not going to take over your home, but they are quite vigorous. They do make an amazing houseplant. What I really like about them is that they will tolerate being drought tolerant, not as much as some of the other plants that we've got, but you can forget to water. You can forget,
definitely.
And they'll forgive you. But also they will tolerate low light levels as well. So if you've got that difficult area that's not got a lot of light, they'll be superb. And their markings are just incredible, aren't they? I mean, that's a stunning plant.
I adore it, honestly.
Absolutely gorgeous.
And the fact that it's so easy to grow, that it trails beautifully, that if it gets too out of hand, you can just hack it back and it's fine. And I use that term specifically. I'm not just trimming it. You can really vigorously cut this back and it's not going to have an issue.
And I think this is the correct word.
Go on.
Stu might have to check this.
I can't wait.
I know that it'll survive in water, just water. If you took a cutting off that and just put it in water, I think it's called hydrophilic, when they'll actually survive in water for months. Is it hydrophonic?
Hydroponic.
Ponic. That sounds right. They'll survive basically in water for months.
Yeah.
Just a glass of water. So that's why they're known as devil's ivy. They are super easy to grow, but they're a beautiful plant. 2 varieties. We've either got the Marble Queen or the Arium, which is slightly more yellowy green.
Yeah.
And I like your idea, Bex. You're going to get. Well, you've got both.
I've got one of each. I'm going to grow them together. I'm going to get them to mingle, and I quite like that idea. I think it's going to add contrast and texture. Because if you hold those two together, look, can you see?
Nice.
So that's the Marble Queen. That one's the Aureum, and you can see the difference, but once that sort of mingles into each other, it will look like the same plant, won't it? I'm going to put one at either end of a wall. So they will trail, they will climb, but I've seen this great thing I think it was on Instagram. Somebody put them one end of the wall, other end of the wall, but then they'd made the trails go horizontally. And they were sort of mixing into each other, which creates that living wall. And I love a living wall.
I saw something similar in Spain, but it was actually like in an outside undercover area.
Yeah.
And it looked amazing.
So good. And you can do it with that because it's so vigorous and so easy.
And if you want free plants, these produce aerial roots. So in their native countries, they climb trees. They use them. They're not a parasitic plant, so they don't live in it off other plants, but they use them for support. But you see that root there? So it literally, when this gets, if there's one coming, can you see that? That's what they call an aerial root. If you literally chop that off, put it in a little glass of water, within a week or so you're going to have more roots, you could pot it on and you've got free plants. So they are super, super easy, and it's a double up deal. So you've got either the Marble Queen or the Arium, or look at these spider plants. Look at these.
Yeah, spider plants, again, super simple. These are quite vigorous. They have really, they're so rooty, aren't they? Big chunky roots on these ones. Excuse me, but these are really, really simple to grow. They're almost indestructible. They produce these wonderful babies as well. So these long shoots come out of these with these lovely clusters of white flowers. They turn into the baby plants, which look elegant and beautiful.
Does it look like this?
That looks amazing, doesn't it?
And actually, the mother plant will support her babies for many, many months and even years like that. But if you want free plants, literally just chop those off. They're all on like long little stalks. I always put them in water first, just to get the roots going, even growing a bit more. But very easy to propagate and pot them on. I've got about 20 odd spider plants. In fact, no, I've sort of reached the point where I'm thinking, have I got too many? But no, you can never have too many. But that two plants there, £8.99.
I'm going with those two because you've got the lovely variegation of the spider plants, those and the stripy, the sword-shaped leaves, and then you've got the variegation on the Marble Queen, and I think those two work really nicely together.
£4 a plant. And don't forget, with every order today, you will get your free Blooming Fast, and that will make 100 litres of our premium plant food. And that is great for everything, pretty much.
Yeah.
The only thing I don't use it on is my lawn.
That would be pointless.
It would. But
house plants, outdoor plants. It's going to make 100 litres, and it's absolutely free today as long as you use that code YGTV4824. That's going to give you your mix and match deal as well on these two house plants. Otherwise, you'd be paying, they're £8.99 each, aren't they? So, you'd be paying £18 thereabouts for the two plants.
Yeah.
Look at it. Here we go. So Stu's done the example basket. We've got the two pot covers in. We've got the epiprenum in there. You've put the two epiprenums in, Stu. That's fine, 2 epiprenums. We've got our 2 pot covers in there. We've entered the codes. They come up at £5 each. The pot covers are £1.99 each, and you're getting your Blooming Fast free gift included in there as well. So we're saving £12 on that order.
Now, if you have just joined us today, a very, very good morning with myself, Sean Ryan, and our fabulous Bex and Stu. So if you've got any questions, we'd love to hear from you. But we just love you. We know you all love gardening. But we'd love you to bring the outside in and have a few house plants. And we have got a great selection here at YouGarden, some really easy ones. Let's say if you've got any questions about any particular plant, if you've looked at it and go, I like the look of that, but will it go here and how to look after it? We are here to help, and we're live until 1 o'clock today. Now, a plant that we've all got, I've got this one, Bex has got it, and Stu, is the Monstera monkeyleaf. It's a type of cheese plant, but we think it's the most beautiful of the cheese plants, because the one that most people know, and it was really popular when I was growing up, was the Deliciosa, the really big one. And we had one, and I do remember it got to the ceiling. It ended up a bit leggy, it had all these aerial roots sticking out. But also, it did take years to get the really attractive leaves. They were solid for the first 2 or 3 years. every single leaf on here, even the little baby new ones, they've all got the fenestrations, the lovely perforations.
Yeah.
Stunning, isn't it?
It's a bit more compact, isn't it, than
Yeah.
the Deliciosa? Plus, you don't have to wait for those holes to appear in there. So it's the distinctive feature, isn't it, of that plant? So if you love the idea of Monstera, but you've never had it because it just gets a bit too big, you know, and you just haven't got the space for it, it's the same for me. I've always fancied a Deliciosa, but just never thought I can fit it into my home. But I can fit this into my home. Mine sits on the side next to the television. It's just tumbling and trailing down. It's so easy to look after as well, and I love that I'm not having to wait years. That is the form. I can't quite put the words to it, but that open habit that you've got there's something really interesting in the way that it actually trails. It's not dense, it's not tightly packed, it is open, and it still allows you to sort of see through it, and that for me is quite I love that about it.
Oh, I mean, imagine that bookshelf without that plant.
Yeah.
I think it'll look a bit boring, Bex.
Boring.
No. But that softens the edge of it. And what I really love about the Monstera, and it's a Swiss cheese plant, basically, and called Swiss cheese plant because of the holes in the leaves. I just think it is amazing how the leaves are formed, and there's quite a few schools of thought into why it has that. But, I mean, imagine if it was in a country where there's like things like tropical storms. If the leaves were solid, they'd maybe get damaged by the strong winds and the strong rain. But not with this plant.
No, I mean there's other. If it grows on the jungle floor, for example, you know, the canopy of leaves up at the top can stop some moisture getting down to the plant. So some say that it's formed the hole so that moisture can get down to the roots of the plant.
But also allowing light to, because imagine this in a jungle and the bottom of the plant wouldn't get a lot of light. But having the holes in the leaves allows light to actually access.
Reasons, isn't there?
Yeah, it's a really clever plant. But there are very few plants that actually have those natural perforations known as fenestrations. This is one of them.
And
but we all love it.
Only $9.99 or $8.99 if you are in the club. So I think that's a really good one. Another good gift, this.
Yeah. It's a lovely plant, it really is. Right, we've also got for you...
Oh, we got some baby plants.
I mean, look, sorry. Can we start off with the polka dots?
Yeah, if you like, the Hyperwesties.
Only because look at. I mean, I'm sorry. I just kept because it was like this flash of beautiful pink.
Okay, so
we should say they don't come with the white pots, but they are available.
They
separately.
are available separately. In fact, they come in the white or the grey, which we've got the other collection in. So this is called Hyperwesties Philisticea, or the polka dot plant, and it's a super pink, and it is because of the colour of the leaves that you've got on there. The variegation, the colour of the leaves is incredible.
Amazing.
Once this matures as well, the flowers that you get on this, they are a really bright magenta colour.
See, I've never had mine flower.
Haven't you?
No, but I've not had it that long. I've not had it that long.
Honestly, the magenta against the pink of those leaves is incredible.
Yeah.
So you'll get them next year. It'll be in the summertime.
Great.
You won't get flowers now, but they will come in the summer. And it comes in three of them in the 6 centimetre pot. So they're the baby plants for you to grow on. You'll get all three of those for $9.99. And it's a really, really easy one to do. Biggest thing I'm going to suggest for you here is to pinch it out, though, because what will happen is you'll get these lovely shoots coming off, and you'll be thinking, oh, it's grown really vigorously, and I love it, but actually it'll grow a bit straggly. So you do need to pinch it out. You've got to go through that process, like we do with, you know, our flowering plants in the summertime. What were we doing it with over the summer? We were pinching some things out. Anyway, it doesn't matter. You've got to be cruel to be kind.
Well, I was going to say, a lot of I did it a lot with my summer bedding, like the fuchsias.
Summer bedding.
Yeah, my geraniums.
Once those shoots come out, just pinch them out.
Double there, Bex.
It will encourage branching, and you will get a much bushier plant. But it's really easy to look after. Mine's currently on my bathroom windowsill.
I would suggest looking at these, that these have been well pinched to give them, or ready to give them.
I think they've started, absolutely. Look at those.
That's just a stunning plant.
That is the look that you could get from this.
Yeah. And I know it's a polka dot plant because it does. I mean, I was thinking I could actually do. I think I could do quite a nice sort of festive Christmas display with those.
Yeah, potentially.
Yeah,
potentially.
I just imagine those with like pine cones and things like that.
I just love the idea of a dinky plant, like a baby plant. You know, yes, I'm impatient sometimes. I want the big effect. I want to have instant impact. I want the big Areca palm, wherever I've put it down there, because I want it to fill that corner. But sometimes you want to take that plant and you want to nurture it, and you want to turn it from a baby into something amazing. And that is the opportunity that we're giving you with these baby plants here, the 6 centimetres. And the pot covers are perfect. They're not going to live in there forever. Of course they aren't. But it's a really good one to start them off like that. Because the thing is, you're probably not going to repot now. You're probably going to repot once we get into springtime. So they can live really happily in those for a little while.
Now, if you would like the little, say, pot covers as well, we have got those available. Again, you get 3, so it's a perfect, say, marriage with the plant itself. Just £6.97. And then we have got a mini houseplant mix. And again, same story with this. You're buying small baby plants, but in years to come, I mean, this is the Swiss cheese plant we're talking about.
This is the Monstera deliciosa.
So that, I mean, it's going to give it a while, but in years to come, that will be 2 metres high, potentially.
Yeah. And again, this is the one that we keep talking about when we were talking about the monkey leaf. This is the baby of the deliciosa. So this is before it forms those fenestrations. This is, and you're going to have to wait a couple of years before it'll get big enough. But what a lovely journey to take yourself on. And in a few years, once it's got bigger, once it starts forming those holes in the leaves, you'll be like, I grew that from a baby plant. And those heart-shaped, glossy leaves are really beautiful whilst you're waiting for those distinctive fenestrations.
I love the idea that, say, in years to come, that could be a huge plant. A friend of mine actually got one of those to flower.
Really? That's rare.
Yeah, it's the weirdest flower. Have you ever seen it?
No.
Like, can I find you a picture?
Yeah, of course.
Right. Let me just give you a picture.
You find that.
I've got it somewhere. It's the flowers are the weirdest things, honestly. I dare describe them.
All right, let me tell you about the other ones that we've got while Sean's finding that one. So then we've got the Peperomia rotundifolia in here as well. Now, this is quite a vigorous plant, OK? So this one's a tumbling, trailing one. It was amazing because I've got a load of these houseplants at home because I do TikTok lives and stuff. And I was amazed at how quick this one grew. It was amazing how much it trailed. I had to bring it back to the nursery and swap it for a new one because I was like, I can't keep showing that. People will think they're going to get one that big. But it grows really, really quickly. So very, very simple to look after. And the final one, which I'm going to say isn't the easiest of houseplants to look after, but if you get it right, it's not a problem. And that is the Aglaonema, the red valentine. Look at the foliage, first of all. Look how stunning. Now, this is a fresh leaf. I can tell it's fresh because you can just see it's still curled. It's opening up. So they start really tightly curled and then they open up. And that one has come out sort of a bit paler, but as it matures and ages, it's going to turn into these gorgeous colours. Now, the big top tip with this is do not put it in a bright light. Do not put it in a bright room. I did it with mine, OK? So I knew this already. I was like, they don't like bright light. They don't like it. This is actually a lower light level lover. Now, I put it on my, having said that, I put it on my bedroom windowsill. But bear with me. Right, I put it on my bedroom windowsill because I was like, it's northeast facing. The sun is there, you know, it's light for an hour in the morning and the sun moves around. So I was like, it'll be fine there. It absolutely was not fine there. Did not like it at all. It defoliated, it dropped the leaves it had. It's still fine, don't worry. I noticed I moved it. I've moved it right over to the other side of the room, really far away from the window, and it is coming back, so don't worry about it. But that is my advice. Do not put it in a bright spot. They're not going to enjoy it. You will get all 3 of those. You're getting the Monstera, the Peperomia rotundifolia, and you're getting the Aglaonema. It is the red valentine variety. If you want the pot covers to go with, we have the anthracite, or we've got the white. They are the perfect size. They are the 7 centimetre, which fit the 6 centimetre pots perfectly. And it's £6.97 for the pack of 3, no matter which colour it is that you are going for. So those are your baby plants. If you want to just, you know, take some of those on a journey.
I know, I can't find that image, Bex.
Oh, do you want to get the allocation while you're coming? Let's bring it over here.
We're going to go exotic, Bex.
We are going to go exotic, definitely.
This, again, has been one of the top-selling plants at YouGarden. And I think it's fair to out of all the plants that we've shown you so far, this is the most exotic. A lot of people know this is the zebra plant, and you can see, well, look at those stems.
Yeah. Actually, there's a new leaf coming here.
Yeah.
Can you see? Fresh leaf coming out there, look.
I haven't got this one, but it is on my list.
So it comes out looking a bit like, and it's coming out from the side of this stem here. So it's poking out of that stem, but you can see it's really tightly wrapped. And it takes, oh God, it takes a couple of weeks for it to come out. You see it poking out, and then don't force it, you will rip the leaf. So I've learned from my mistake.
I used to do that as a child with my cheese plant.
Yeah.
I did. I was
like, I want to see it, want to see it, want to see it. But you end up ripping the leaf,
No.
so don't do it. But it takes a couple of weeks, so it's really interesting. You keep going out, you keep looking, and then it gradually unfurls. And what you get are these great big arrow-shaped leaves, also known as elephant ears.
And, I mean, these are big, but actually, when this plant matures, they can be 2 or 3 times that size.
I mean, honestly, we've got some at the nursery that are bigger than my head. The leaves get bigger than your face. I tell this story quite often, but I used to have a really trendy flat in Leeds when I was in my prime, a lot younger, Bex, obviously. Obviously, yeah.
Yeah, but it was a really kind of like trendy flat, and I could just imagine this taking centre, stage there. But you always say, Bex, with this one, it needs a lot of space, doesn't it?
It does,
Because it kind of goes up and out, and you want it to be a focal point to a room.
I think it's one that we would call the show, one of the show-stopping plants.
Yeah, absolutely.
We talk about thrillers and fillers, don't we? Some are filler plants and some are thriller plants, this one is definitely a thriller plant. So it not only needs a bit of space, it actually deserves to have a little bit of space because it is visually absolutely beautiful, but it grows in this upwards but outwards shape, so you definitely want to give it space. I do want to point out though that this is probably one of the most diva-ish of the plants that we've got, so I don't want to fool anybody here. It's totally doable though. Just follow these simple rules. Do not put it anywhere where it's going to be subject to temperature fluctuations. So don't put it next to a radiator, don't put it next to a door or a window that constantly gets opened to the outside. So temperature fluctuations, either cold or hot, is what you need to avoid. And when it comes to watering, it is about sort of not letting it dry out, but also being really careful not to overwater. If you overwater, what happens is these go, ooh. And they really don't like it, and it can be quite hard to get it to then perk back up again. So those are really the only rules. I'm not direct light because it'll scorch the leaves. But a nice bright spot.
And a bit of humidity, ideally.
Oh, humidity, definitely.
Yeah.
Bathrooms and kitchens, great, because you don't have to worry about it then. Those rooms are naturally humid. But if you're not keeping it in those rooms, a little bit of spray every couple of days, that'll keep it nice and humid.
So not the easiest, it's not as easy as the epiprenum or the spider plant.
Doable.
But it is
Totally doable.
Yeah.
Totally.
And it is stunning. I think it's worth that little bit of just making sure this settles in, is the right environment. But I know whenever we look in the greenhouse, we've got a big greenhouse here at YouGarden, and this always stands out. And it's a really rare plant to actually see in the UK, isn't it?
Yeah.
But I love it. I think that is on my personal list, the Alocasia zebrina there. Now, we've also got...
Where's my little plant stand? It looks sad on its own. Oh, you put it... Oh,
this is what you need, Bex.
Thank you.
This is our braided snake plants. And I think this is a real cutie. I look at this and you don't have to have it braided. This is not how it naturally goes. It has been braided, but that is a lot of work, isn't it? Yeah. And I look at it and just think it's really architecturally beautiful and different.
I think it's a bit contemporary,
yeah,
which is what I quite like about this. It's got a bit of a contemporary feel to it. I was saying earlier about the Ficus microcarpa, the ginseng plant, this one here, how this is a perfect desk plant, and this is the other one that I would put into that category. If you want a little bit of greenery, you want that on your desk, you want something that's easy to look after, then snake plants definitely fall into that category. We have got, by the way, if you haven't seen any houseplants here that you like, there are a few others that we've got available on the website, and we do have another couple of snake plants, and I want to push that because snake plants are one of the easiest of the house plants to look after because you can ignore them for weeks and weeks on end. Weeks on end. I don't water my snake plant for 4, 5, even 6 weeks at a time because they just don't need it.
And again, these actually store that water in their leaves. So give it a really good, douse of water and then don't bother for weeks. And all of that water is actually stored in these really unusual leaves. Now it is it's a type of Sansevieria, but this one is a cylindrica because, look, these are actually round leaves. That's incredible, isn't it? It's really weird. And I totally agree with what you said in terms of it is a modern, contemporary-looking plant.
Definitely.
Great. You know, a lot of my younger friends would just love that.
Yeah, for sure. And it won't get massive. It can get to about probably 50 centimetres in height, but it grows very slowly, and that's the same with all Sansevieria, to be honest with you. Snake plants, they grow very slowly. So as it grows, what you're going to do is either keep plaiting it. It's just held together with this little ribbon up at the top here, so you can keep plaiting it, or do you know what? You could just release it and let it
and I've seen them as they go natural, and they're actually still really attractive.
Really attractive. They will send up new shoots. So if you want it to stay like this, and you're getting these extra new shoots coming up, you can just remove them. You can throw them away if you want to, but if you remove them and they come away with roots attached, you could actually then pot them up and create a whole new plant.
Yeah. So we've got, do you know what I'm just thinking? We've had such a wonderful selection of houseplants, something for everybody. And say if you particularly want to see a plant, if you've got some questions, we are live until 1 o'clock today. You can go to the website, of course, and check out all of the offers. And we have got some amazing deals. Obviously, it's our Black Friday event this week. You click onto live now. There's Bex and I.
Is it a good pic? Oh, no. Is that last year's houseplant special? How it is, isn't it?
I don't think we look any different.
No,
do you? No. Am I wearing this? Hang on. Am I wearing the same top from last year?
Maybe.
Is that you? I can't see. Oh, no, I can see now.
I very nearly put that jumper on this morning.
Did you?
I'm very glad I didn't.
But everything is there. And we've got, say, lots of things to help you with your houseplants, so feeds and compost. We've got some lovely pot covers. We have got some amazing collections of plants. So I would say the best value is the second one there, the houseplant variety mix. That is incredible. 6 big plants for under £30. We love the Senecio there, Rolianus. That's been one of the favourites. The Piqueria aquatica, that's always in the top 3 houseplants. The prayer plants are beautiful. There's 2 of those. The Maranta tricolor and the Tenanthe Marxii there. And we've just seen the Alocasia zebrina and some lovely houseplant pot covers as well. And the prices on those start as little as £1.99.
I'm just in the chat. Grimmy says he's off to put outdoor Christmas decorations up. Enjoy the rest of the show. Cheers until Sunday. Thank you very much, Grimmy. Have fun putting those up. Everyone's giving Stu's wife lots of love for her amazing plant growing.
She's good, isn't she?
And Neil,
Hello,
you're
Neil.
saying, are all the plants on the show safe if you have a cat in your house like I have? No. We talked about this a lot during the show. I'm assuming you're dipping in and out because you're at work, so you'll catch up later as you normally do. No, they're not all non-toxic. So we have a cat-friendly bundle that you can get. So it's called the pet-friendly collection, so you can get those. If you want a few others, Piqueria aquatica is pet-friendly. Tenanthe Marxii is pet-friendly. That's the fishbone prayer plant. Spider plants are pet-friendly.
Boston fern.
Boston fern.
Yeah.
Areca palm. String of hearts. That one there. That is pet-friendly. And Pilea peperomioides.
And I think that's it today, isn't it?
Which is...
there's quite a lot. There's quite a lot,
one
Neil.
there. So there are quite a few, and if you don't catch all of those, send me a message and I'll send you a list. But there are a bunch that are definitely pet-friendly.
But the best value, Neil, would be the pet-friendly collection where you get 3 plants for under £20.
Yeah.
And in that one, you do get the prayer plant, you get the spider plant, and you get the Boston fern. So,
it's a really good one.
You know, Neil, I've got a cat too, so I err on the side of caution, but I still have a few plants that I would never have. I mean, you know, when you've got a cat, there's certain plants you really need to avoid. But,
yeah, I mean, you'd never put lilies in,
no,
would you?
No, I wouldn't. But we have got that special collection, Neil, where you get the fishbone prayer plant, the Boston fern, and the spider plant, all for under £20. And Neil, I know you're a club member, so you get them for $17.99. 3 lovely plants there.
That is a great little collection.
And cat-friendly.
And Ruth is saying...
Actually, Neil, your cat will love the spider plant if he's like, you know, like mine.
Ruth is just saying thanks, Bex and Sean, for all the advice. It is our pleasure. That is
Ruth,
what we're here for. So thank you so much.
Yeah. And I'll be honest, I always had houseplants as a child. I've always had houseplants as an adult, but it's only working at YouGarden that I've got to know a few more of the technical things.
Yeah.
Because I know all the popular names, that's how I grew up. But since working at YouGarden, we've both learnt so much.
Learning so much all the time.
You know, Bex does TikTok Live, so you've surrounded by houseplants, aren't you?
Yes. Surrounded. My dining room has become a jungle. Yeah. My dining room is what I want my bathroom to be.
But it's interesting. I mean, what we both love about working with YouGarden is that we are always learning. I mean, you know, gardening's such a huge subject, so you cannot know everything. Nobody knows everything, but it has been really exciting to learn more about houseplants. And actually, the more you learn, the easier it is. But our website has got great information with all the houseplants. And actually, we do try to bring you mostly houseplants that are easy to moderate. We haven't got anything uber difficult.
No,
we really haven't.
There's nothing really difficult here at all. That's not what we're doing. No. This one's a really nice, easy one. We've got the banana plant for you. You've got banana plants, surely.
I had them outside in the summer. They are now inside in the conservatory.
So this is the brilliant thing about these, because they can become a real focal point to any kind of tropical planting scheme that you've got, whether that's indoors or whether that's outdoors. A lot of your houseplants will enjoy being taken outside during the summer months, but they don't have to be. This is one that can absolutely go outdoors, and we love banana plants for the fact that you get massive foliage from these.
You get huge leaves, and actually in the height of summer, when we're outside in the garden, literally a new leaf would start to appear every other day.
Yeah, I mean, we've got new leaves coming through now.
I mean, they slow down obviously the winter time, but honestly, when it's really hot in the summer, the leaves, I would say I've got at least a new leaf, it sounds ridiculous, but every week, and they just get bigger and bigger. It's crazy plant.
I love them. So, you're not going to grow bananas, by the way.
No.
You're going to grow bananas from them. But you will get huge paddle-shaped leaves. You can take it outside. You can create those lovely shadows. I mean, these can get...
meters.
Too.
Yeah,
in
the UK, a couple of meters.
It can touch the ceiling quite happily, so you can get really luscious foliage in there. It wants a bright spot, though, definitely. I would not put this anywhere where it's, you know, a lower light level room. It definitely wants to be in a bright room. I would probably avoid direct light on here, because I do think that you could scorch the leaves quite easily on these, couldn't you? Do you keep yours in your conservatory?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, it's fine in the winter because the sun's not that strong.
It's not quite as strong, is it?
But I always put it outside in the summertime, and it does appreciate that. Yeah. It really does. Yeah. And they are, I will be honest, they are quite thirsty.
It's a good point. They're very thirsty plants, definitely. And quite, definitely want to keep up on the feeding with these ones. So I don't feed much at all during the winter with house plants, but in the spring and summertime, this is one that you're going to do on a regular basis.
But again, that is a great price at $7.99. Really is. And it is all about the big leaves and the big foliage.
It's quite fast growing as well, isn't it? This is the thing. It's not like you're waiting ages.
No. In summertime, I mean, what I sometimes do with mine is keep it in the greenhouse, but I have got a heater now in the greenhouse. But honestly, in summer, when the temperatures are high and the daylight hours are long, oh my word, it shoots up. Massive. Lovely. Right, now we're your favourites next, Bex.
The Oxalis triangularis. It is a gorgeous one.
Bex was talking about this earlier, and she's saying one of her absolute favourites.
I was saying how much I love it. Because it's
the colour, isn't it?
It's got so much interest going on with this one. So it's actually started to close up a little bit, and this is what I find really fascinating about this. During the daytime, what happens is these all open up massively, okay? So they really open up like this. But then at night time and in the dark, these leaves completely close up and fold up like that. It's quite incredible. We're going to have to get a video to show you because it's quite hard to explain it. It is so, so beautiful.
We'll give you the details if we can.
But it is about that darker foliage that we've got on here. It's almost black in appearance, isn't it? But it's a really deep burgundy. And actually there's some real purple sort of stripes running through on there as well.
But aren't they the shape of the leaves? You know, that's what it's called, triangularis.
Yeah.
Aren't they unusual? But they are like a perfect equilateral triangle, aren't they?
It is. And when these are all sort of closed up like this, it looks like butterflies that have landed.
Yeah, I get that,
It looks like butterflies' wings that are folded. In the summertime, and again, these should have gone over by now, but in the summertime, you do get these little pink flowers, and they just rise up perfectly and sit atop the foliage there, which is the perfect backdrop for them. It will spread, it will fill out, it will create this lovely domed look. And it'll spread to probably about 40 by 40 centimetres. So you'll get so many more shoots that come up, and you get this lovely domed look from it. And it's quite an easy one to look after again.
Just
really simple.
A very unusual colour and very unusual shaped leaves.
And it's probably, I mean, there aren't many that we've got, have we, that are so dark in colour at all. In fact, we've got shades of green, haven't we, mostly. You've got the bright one of the Joseph's coat, but you haven't got loads of dark coloured. And for you guys that have watched us do the outdoor shows, and we talk about getting those dark burgundy foliage and putting them in amongst all the green shades.
So I'm just
it's
playing
exactly
around
the
here.
same indoors.
So amazing what lovely display. I like that as a display, do you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the pinks and the purples going together. Why not?
Yeah. I always think houseplants, well, they can look great by themselves, but often they do look really nice grouped together as well. So that's the Oxalis triangularis there, or we know it as purple shamrock, 800 363 at £7.99. Now, if you have just joined us, it's a very special show.
Yes, it is.
It's been a year since we've done one of these.
I know.
God, it was about a year ago, wasn't it?
It was about a year ago. I'm sure it was, because it was a Christmas special we did, wasn't it?
And we've got an amazing selection of houseplants for you today. But the same rules apply. Spend over £40, you get free postage. You will. Always use the offer code, which today is YGTV4824. That unlocks all the promotions, gives you free postage when you spend over £40, and you'll get your free gift today, which is our Blooming Fast worth £4.99. That will make 100 litres of premium plant food. And I know we've done this offer quite a lot recently. But we know you love it, and obviously you can stockpile these. I mean, these will keep for at least a couple of years, I've thought.
Oh, easily, yeah, definitely.
But if you're thinking, right, I'm going to buy some houseplants, but I'm nowhere near £40, then why not top up on your compost today? And we have got the best-selling products right now here at YouGarden, 100 litres of our premium professional compost for just £24.98 or £22.48. And do you know, I still get annoyed when I run out of this. Don't you? It is so annoying when you're in the middle of gardening and you run out of compost, and then maybe you've either got to wait or you buy an alternative.
Yeah, no, if I run out now, I am not buying an alternative. I've done it too many times and it's so frustrating. I'm going to wait for my next delivery. Or what I should say is I'm never going to run out of it. That's the New Year's resolution I should make. Because I'm always disappointed when I buy something else. And I know... Honestly, a few people have said to me, like, you two bang on about that compost. Friends have said this to me.
Yeah,
like,
same here, yeah.
What are you talking? It's just compost. Why? And it isn't. This is the thing. It really, really isn't just compost. It's so important to get the right compost. And we genuinely have got the right compost here. It's the compost we use at the nursery. Our head gardener has, developed this over the years, hasn't he? And it is amazing the ingredients that have got in here.
I mean, just give you the history. This is the compost that has been used on the nursery for as Becky said, many, many years. And it wasn't available commercially. We just kept it to ourselves. We grew all of our plants and we potted up all of our bare roots, did all of our ready-made hanging baskets in this compost. But there was suddenly that light bulb moment. We thought, well, why should we keep it to ourselves? Yeah. So it has been on sale to the general public for a number of years now. It's our best-selling product. It's the highest rated. Here's some of the uses. I recently potted up just some of our plug plants, our hardy perennials. You can use it for any of our mini plug plants, the pro plugs. You can use it for your hanging baskets. You can use it for any perennial pretty much that you're planting out in the garden. Those were some of the Tiger's Eye violas. Now recently I did the whole pub garden using this compost. I redid all the tubs and planters. And do you know what? The weather's not been great the last 4 weeks since I planted, but things have come on amazingly well.
Yeah, it's all to do with the ingredients that's in there that really helps it. And the texture. It's not just what it's feeding the plants, it's the texture of it as well. It's really loose, it's light, it's open, it allows for roots to grow, but it's a peat-based compost, so it's giving the plants that goodness that we get from peat. Reduced amounts of peat, of course. We have reduced it for years before we had to, but we still get those maximum results from it, and that is so important.
Now you've also got 50% composted wood fibre in there, and that gives this the most incredible texture. When we say texture, it's fibrous, but it's even, so you don't suddenly find those big lumps and bumps, and that means that even tiny little seeds that are putting out their roots for the first time, they're able to access all the water, all of the oxygen and the nutrients that they need. But also it does mean that there's enough fibre in here for it to support everything from seeds all the way through to trees. So pretty much we say it's for all plants with the exception of the acid-loving ones, and then they, of course, will need an ericaceous compost. But I can spot loads of green balls, Bex.
Yeah, so the green balls, you can see, as I sort of run my hands through it, there's loads of little green balls that are in this compost. And that is one of the really expensive ingredients in here. It's a slow-release fertiliser. So those little green balls, they just break down and they release this feed into the compost. And then the plants can get hold of it as and when they need it. Stays active for a good sort of 5 to 6 months, so your plants can get hold of that. And if you're anything like me, who completely forgets to feed, even though she says every year, I'm going to do it regularly, and I always forget, at least they can get hold of that, particularly when they're first planted in there.
Now, there's also a wetting agent in there. In a simple language, if this compost dries out, when you water, the water and the compost stick together. And I think you'll all know, with other composts, sometimes you'll water and all the water goes over the side.
Runs off the edge, doesn't it?
And it's so annoying when that, you know, hanging basket, you try and water it and all the water just floods over the side. And I know that's not going to happen as much in winter, but actually on a windy day in winter, tubs and containers can dry out in a few hours. So you've got that there as well. And the pH buffer.
Yeah, now this is really important. It's been put in exactly the right place. So acid and alkaline and neutral in the middle. This has been put in exactly the right place within that acid alkalinity scale so that it is perfect for the majority of plants. And that is, you know, house plants included and your outdoor plants as well. We're talking probably 98% of everything that you plant will be really, really happy in here. It's only really anything at either end of the scale. So the ones that really like the acid soil, that want the ericaceous compost, for example, like blueberries and rhododendrons and azaleas, that sort of thing. So
it is a perfect compost, and we always deliver it free. So $22.48 is your club price, and postage, as I said, is included. And even if you just buy the compost today, you will get your blooming fast as well, and that is worth £5. But it is a brilliant compost. We'd love you to buy houseplants today, but if you're trying to get your order to over £40 to get that free postage, then adding compost is a great idea. I ordered all the hellebores last week, so I did order 50, and I'm basically putting together some Christmas displays, but I will be using, of course, I composted that as well. Now, we've also got some brilliant house plant bundles. So if you're thinking, right, I want value today, I want to get several house plants, revamp the house, but I want to do it on a budget, our bundles are the best option to go for. And the most affordable is this one here, where you get 6 house plants for $17.99. And we're saying great little gifts as well. You know, we're working out, what's that working out? Less than £3 a house plant. And I think sometimes, yes, we've got big established houseplants, but sometimes to buy the slightly smaller ones and to have that journey with them is actually really rewarding. I love some of my plants I look at and think, I remember buying that as a baby a couple of years ago, and now it's huge and wonderful. And I'm looking here, this is a really interesting selection, actually, isn't it? It's really nice.
Yeah, I really enjoy this selection. Yeah. When you take a look at that shot there, as you can see, look, there's loads of different colours and textures and shapes, and that's enjoyable about this. So it's been put together so that you've got that contrast. We got some really. In fact, these are all easy.
I was just thinking the same.
They are,
aren't they?
They are all super
really
simple. I mean, nothing can be easier than a spider plant, for sure. I mean, that can cope with really low light levels. I was even reading something that it can potentially cope in a room with no window. I'm not going to recommend it, but it can cope with very low light levels. So that one's fantastic.
And then the Tradescantia, again, I mean, these two are quite, I call these retro plants, because I grew up with these two. But this one, so easy, so fast growing as well. Both of these great for propagating. I mean, this one you can literally just take off a stem and put it in a glass of water and root within about a week. But that one, again, very, very resilient, very easy plants.
Chamaedorea elegans, or
Another
the parlour palm, very, very popular in Victorian times, and it's a bit like your areca palm, isn't it? You get that lovely tall ferny foliage, but it's very slow growing. It's going to take ages to get to those kinds of heights, and can actually cope with slightly lower light levels as well, though it'll be really happy in a bright spot too.
Now, this is one that I didn't have, and it's got so many different names. So how many? So we know it's the UFO plant,
Chinese money plant,
water lily pad plant,
pancake plant,
pass me on plant.
Those are the 5 I know.
And friendship plant.
Oh Oh, do you know friendship?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Again, from the pass me on.
From the passing it along. Yeah, you make friends by giving them plants.
There were 6 names.
There you go.
But it is the most unusual looking plant because the leaves are round. It's actually from China, came to the UK, I think it was in the 1940s, and it wasn't readily available. So people would only own this plant if somebody gave them a little baby from it. And it does produce, they're called little pups, but you will see little plants just grow from the roots around the side.
Yeah, so when you say, you can say, I propagated this.
Yes.
All you did was pull it away from the plant and pot it. That's literally it. But take the win. It's absolutely fine. So that's only 4 of the 6. I've got 2 more included in here. We've got the asparagus fern, and so
it's
this
lovely.
to me looks like turn it that way for me. It looks like a bonsai.
Oh, it does from
Do you know
that.
what I mean?
Yeah,
when
yeah,
you
yeah.
look at it from that
yeah,
angle,
shape-wise it does, yeah.
It properly looks like a little bonsai tree, doesn't it? And that's what I really like about it. But it's that fine, fuzzy foliage. It's very tactile. You're definitely going to want to stroke it and touch it.
And again, it's a type of fern, so bathrooms, fairly low light would be fine on that one. And then finally, we have got the Asian bell.
Yeah, so this one...
I've never grown this one.
No, but I like this one because it's got quite an organic feel to it. Very sort of open, loose texture. Definitely feels like you brought an outdoor plant indoors. The only thing I can say to you on this one really is do be careful not to underwater this one. I mean, it doesn't want to sit in water, don't do that. But don't let it dry out too much because it will go yellow, it will defoliate. Yeah. So yes, keep it consistently moist, that one.
And that works out £3 a plant, even less for club members.
Yeah, think about your Christmas gifts. Honestly, we're still within, the guaranteed Christmas delivery. We're nowhere near that.
Nowhere near, are we? Yeah.
Nowhere near that at all. So if you place your order, if you've placed any orders recently, we are actually getting them out quite quickly. So do think about your Christmas gifting.
But if you want plants that are maybe a little bit more mature, this next collection, yeah, you took the words. I was thinking. I
could tell there was a little pause.
If you want a bit of maturity. I'm more mature than you, Bex. This is, right, seriously though, everybody, if you're thinking, shall I, shan't I, this collection is outstanding.
Yes.
Club members, 6 plants, it works out £4.50 plant. And can we look at the size of these? So that's called the Codeine.
Let's start with that one.
Look at that. I know.
I mean, it's massive and it's beautiful. I want to have a look at the roots, actually, because I want to see if this is... No. It's coming out the bottom, so that's probably going to need repotting. These all come in the 12-centimetre pots, by the way.
That is amazing.
That is stunning. The colours you get from that, and it's a really easy one to look after. Just make sure you put it in a nice bright room. Not direct light, but a bright room, because it's really going to appreciate it for the leaf colour. The leaf colour will be so much better in a bright room.
I don't think I've ever seen... I mean, look at that one there. That's pink.
I know.
But
they're incredible.
Yeah. Now, I would pay £15 to £20 for that plant alone. That is one of the 6.
But look, you get these darker coloured ones as well, and then these really bright, light-coloured ones, and these new ones that are coming through, all green, that are going to then mature into all of these amazing colours that you can see here.
So that, for club members, works out £4.50 a plant. Then we've got the Dracaena. People know this is a dragon tree. Virtually impossible to kill. It really is. It's true.
It is true. Virtually impossible, I swear. My husband desperately tried to kill his, and it didn't work.
So bright position, you can, forget to water it for a few weeks. The only thing that will ever happen, I know if I ever, because we've got one in the office. We've got a tiny office in the home, like a little box room, and we never use it basically. So we do forget about this one. And the worst that happens, the leaves, the bottom leaves go yellow and brown and come off. That is it. But it's such an easy one and slow grow, but really nice. So that's the Dracaena. Marginata, it's got the margins on the leaves, they're pink.
Another Camadarea elegans in this one. So obviously just bigger. If I can grab that 9-centimetre one. We've got a Camadarea elegans in the other one, but this is the more mature one, the 12-centimetre
And we should say it does take quite a while for that to get to that.
It does. No, that is a big difference. So it's a much more mature plant that you're getting in here. Now,
this is, I know this is a rubber plant. As I say, my mum has got one of these that's 40-odd years old. When you see these, I remember I saw the most beautiful, huge one in India a few years ago. It was amazing. But they do make a very, very nice house plant. Little tip with this, again, bright indirect light. we do let ours dry out a little bit between waterings, but you do need to dust the leaves. Because you've got quite big flat leaves, they do tend to get a bit dusty, and if they get dusty, it can't photosynthesize as well as it needs to. Or use our leaf shine, which helps give it a shine, but also stops the dust from settling. So that's our Ficus elastica, the rubber plant.
Another asparagus fern included in here, but again, way more established because it's in that 12 centimetre pot. That loves a bit of humidity. It likes to be kept regularly moist. If not, what you'll see is some of the needles on here, they'll start turning yellow and they will start to drop. So just keep it nice and moist and in a humid room.
And then we have got another Dracaena, but this one is a lot more compact and thicker leaves. But those two make lovely pair. I mean, those two together look really nice, don't they?
Virtually indestructible, both of those, honestly. Really, really easy. I rescued one of these last year. It was in a bad state. Somebody had left it outdoors overnight in the frost. And I was like, well, that's going to die, isn't it? But it didn't. I took it home. I've looked after it. I've nurtured it. It's gone from that size to that size in a year.
We love a plant rescue.
I love a plant rescue.
So, 6 gorgeous plants, all very different and very well established in 12 centimetre pots. Club members working out £4.50 each.
That's crazy. That is £4.50.
See, I would pay £15 to £20 for that.
I'd probably pay £25 for that quite happily because it's one of the standout ones.
You're in a nice garden centre, that would be that sort of price.
I haven't got one of these yet.
I went to, there's a garden centre, I won't mention the name obviously, that I went to recently. Had a lovely meal there. Did check out the Christmas display, pretty good. But their houseplants were extortionate.
They're really expensive at the garden centres, aren't they?
I was like, I mean, honestly, some of them were 3 or 4 times the price of what we charge.
I know.
They were beautifully displayed and, but seriously. So I think that's the best value. Obviously, you have got your postage to pay, but if you put in some pot covers and got your order to over £40, you get free delivery and your free gift as well, using the code YGTV4824. We did do a little example basket, didn't we? Yeah, and
it came to 40. If you did that with 3 of each of the 2 pot covers we've got in the 14 centimetres, it came to £41.
Yeah.
So postage included.
You've
got your gifts for you. You've potentially got gifts for other people as well. Like it's a really clever way of doing it. Actually, Stu's got a couple of extra pieces in there as well. He's got the epiprene. He's got the buy one. He's got the double up deals.
Oh yeah, with the epiprenums. Well, we don't blame you for that.
Absolutely,
Stu.
I'd put those in for sure. Nice.
But try and get your basket to over £40. Add in some of the pot covers or some compost. But when you look there, that is an amazing collection. 6 stunning plants, pot covers to go with it, and your free gift there, all for, say, just over £41 or £42. And if you are a club member, you'd save an extra £4.20. Now, Neil messages saying...
no, here.
Oh, so we're going to do these. So we've got the pet-friendly one coming up, Neil.
It's coming up next. But if you don't want 6, but you want 3 of them, we do have a triple pack included in here. This is probably the easiest to look after, don't you think? Because you've got 2 Dracaenas included. No, sorry, Stu, have I got it wrong?
Right, hang on. It's a pile of palm.
Top one, apologies.
There you go.
Apologies, there we go.
Right, we're there now, aren't we?
Right. Sorry, Stu. Still the easiest. I'm still going with that.
Yeah.
Because you're getting the Dracaena compactor, which is really, really simple. And you'll have it for ages. For many years, this can live in your home. You're getting this one as well, which, again, is pretty easy to look after, isn't it?
The rubber plant, the Ficus elastica, I mean, they are a long-living house plant. We've got one that's 45 years old.
Look at how big those leaves get, how glossy and how dark they are.
And they do bush out. You will get side shoots as it matures.
Yes.
They're a stunning plant. And you get your pile of palm as well. The Camadoria there. So that works out, again, for club members...
£5 and...
5...
5.4, yeah.
It is 5.40, yes. So I thought it said 5.14. And I was like,
no, it's not.
There's only one king of maths here, Stu.
It's like, well, there's a debate going on.
Yeah, I misheard him. I was like, no, it's not 5.40. But you're right, Stu, 5.40. Now, Neil, we did say we'd show you the pet-friendly bundle.
Yeah.
And
it's a lovely little collection, this, actually.
It's quite a big collection, I would say. Look at the size of them.
Look at the size of that. So I think this is great if you have got pets in your home and you do want to stay away from anything completely toxic. I think completely understand that.
We've all, I think when it comes to our pets, we all bring them up slightly differently, don't we? And I think if you want to be really, really 100% sure that your pets are safe with the plants, this is the collection to go for. Neil, I have got some of the other plants in my home, I will be honest, and my cat Teddy is fine with them. But you know, this is the most, I'd say, safest in terms of plant selection. We
all know our own pets.
We do.
Actually, you know, going
you've
into
got a puppy coming
tomorrow
Bex.
morning, I'm picking up a new puppy. My current dog, Otis, he's absolutely fine. He doesn't chew any of the plants indoors. He'll chew anything outdoors, so I have to be careful outdoors, but he will not chew anything indoors. So I'm guessing
tomorrow you'll probably move some of the plants.
Well, the dining room doors will be kept shut.
Yeah.
Because obviously that's where I keep all the plants for when I'm doing the TikTok shows and stuff. The dining room doors will be kept shut until I can understand what that puppy will and won't do.
So Neil and everyone else that wants a pet-friendly collection, these are the three you've got. Bex has picked up the Boston Fern.
I love the Boston Fern. I don't actually have one yet, and I do want a Boston Fern. When I get my jungle vibe going on in my bathroom, the Boston Fern is going to be right in there. They're really gorgeous. They're very rooty. They're very easy to grow, but you get lots for your money, which is what I really enjoy about Boston Fern. So these and they give you that jungle vibe, don't they, which is really enjoyable.
I just love ferns.
Ferns, yeah.
I do.
I'm a big fan of ferns. This year we've been talking a lot about ferns, haven't we, in the garden? And so it's really sort of turned me on to ferns in the home.
So if you love your ferns outside, get the Boston Fern. I'd say the reason it's called that is because a variety of fern, very similar, arrived in Boston in the 1900s, and one particular fern was slightly different and stood out, and they cultivated it there, and it became really popular in Boston, and is now a popular fern across the world.
Pet-friendly, easy to care for, lots of plant for your money. Those three things tick all the boxes.
And then we have got the Tenanthibill Marxii, which is this. I know this is the fishbone prayer plant. What a beauty that is.
It's a stunner, isn't it?
Isn't it? Look at the leaves.
It's a relative of Calathea, so if you like Calathea, it's got similar properties. Distinctive, amazing, beautiful show-stopping markings on the leaves, shaped like a fishbone, which is why it's got that name. But you've also got those burgundy undersides on there as well, which I quite like, particularly how the plant grows. You get to see that as well as the distinctive markings on that side too.
And it is called the prayer plant because it does look, at night when the light levels are low, it actually moves.
Yeah.
And the leaves can sort of close up a little bit. But it's really weird. I've got mine on my kitchen windowsill and it sort of catches me out every night. I'll suddenly walk across and go, hang on, what's happened to that plant? It's just moved. It's really weird.
It does. It moves around, and that's what I quite like about it. But less diva-ish than other varieties of Calathea.
Yes.
Quite a simple one.
But again, that's working out for club members £6.
And of course, finally, within the pet-friendly collection, we've got our spider plant, which is probably one of the easiest. Can cope with, bright rooms, can cope with lower light level rooms. I was reading something. I'm not going to recommend it. If you want to try it, that's up to you. But I was reading something that said it can cope with a room with no windows. I don't know if that. I don't know. I've never done it, but I was reading something about it.
Now, if yours has loads of babies, and it will get like stems coming up. They'll have little white flowers on. The flowers only last a couple of days, but then they turn into baby spider plants. You can either leave them on the mother plant like this, and they'll be happy there for many.
Look at that. That looks so good.
It looks great. I love that look. But if you get too many, then just chop those off. Put them in I always put mine in a little sauce of water till they root a bit better, and then a week later I'll plant them up. But a lot of people now, I don't know if you saw some of the trends this summer, but a lot of people use these outside in summer displays.
Yeah.
Yeah, did you see them?
Yeah.
Yeah. They can do great in the garden as well. So,
over winter as well?
Well, Adam, who's one of our other plant experts...
He was saying this, wasn't he?
Yeah. He said that they would survive. They'd maybe die right down, but they would survive. But a lot of people, if you looked at some of the commercial displays, use spider plants outside this year.
Yeah.
So I'm going to try that next year.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
Give it a go. Particularly because you get so many babies. That's one way of
exactly.
using those babies,
I've got too many in the house now, that's why.
There you go, we could try some.
So some are going outside. I'm going to wait till the summer, just to be sure, though.
Yeah. All right, so it's 800-359 if you want to go for that pet-friendly mix. Neil, that might be the one for you. Yeah. It is basically £6 a plant if you are in the club. Just go to the YouGarden website, so yougarden.com, if you want to have a little look. You're looking for the live live TV button. You can then scroll through all the plants that we've selected for our show today. But we've got thousands of plants on there, and actually what we've got selected doesn't cover the full houseplant range. We've got so many more. We've got other snake plants, we've got yuccas, we've got other ficus, we've got that beautiful Ficus benjamina, which is really, really pretty.
And
so there's loads of other ones on there too.
We've got aloe vera plants, which are massive at the moment, aren't they?
Yeah.
Love those. So, but also, we do appreciate, you know, a lot of you watching today, you like your outside gardening, maybe you're not as confident with houseplants, but just try one or two. Maybe buy one of the bargain bundles that we've got for you. But if you want to get your basket to over £40, you can mix and match with anything else. So if there's something you saw last week on our show, you think, oh, still got my eye on that. As long as your basket is over £40, you will get free postage. But also, you might want to go for some of our accessories as well.
So the houseplant concentrated feed might be something that you're looking at. Yeah, of course, with your order today, you will get your blooming fast. That will work for your houseplants. But if you like the idea of a concentrate, you can go for some of this as well. You can get one bottle for £6.99, or you can double up and get two for £11.99. Each bottle will make 60 litres.
That is a huge amount, isn't it?
It's a huge amount. That'll keep going for such a long time. It's 5 ml that you put into 1 litre of water, and then it's that concentrate you can go around and feed your plants.
And I think one of the main problems with houseplants is people buy a houseplant and then never feed it.
Yeah.
You know, you buy it and it looks pretty, and then about a year or two later, you think, oh, it doesn't look like
not doing very well, is it?
It doesn't look like it used to, because it's not been fed.
It's genuinely what my husband did with his Dracaena marginata. Honestly, 30 years he had that plant.
And never fed it?
Never potted it on.
So how did it survive?
Occasionally, if he thought about it, he might water it. And then he comes and a few years ago, oh, I'm going to throw this away, it's rubbish. It's not the plant's fault, it's your fault.
But we love a plant rescue, and it's very, very,
healthy now. I've rescued it.
If you want to go for that, it's a double up deal, or you can go for one for £6.99. So the advantage sometimes of buying some of the extras is getting your basket to over £40 and getting the free delivery as well. Now, we've also got a super easy way of feeding your plants. And this is a little drip feed. So you literally just take off the cap, do what Bex is doing, turn it upside down, put it in your pot, and it will drip feed your plant for about 4 weeks.
Like that, basically.
Yeah. I mean, that's just so easy, isn't it?
I haven't taken the top off, by the way, but that's all you're going to do with it. Stick it in the pot like that, and then it's going to feed that plant for you. It's only $2.99. I'd get a few of those. That's really going to help, isn't it? Particularly if you're rubbish like me and you forget to feed plants.
Yeah. And then something we would highly recommend is the Baby Bio Leaf Shine, because first of all, it makes the plants look so healthy instantly. You know, plants like the rubber plant, the Codeine that we showed you. A little spray and suddenly the plant looks like, oh, gorgeous and glossy and healthy. But also like, oh, that sounds like, do you know what?
Sounded all butch and masculine then.
No, I sound like one of the judges from Strictly, actually.
Did you?
Yeah, yeah. The way you just did that, whoa, and the move here and whoa. But they
Is that Bruno? Is he still on it? I haven't watched.
I've forgotten his name now. Oh. I only watch it occasionally.
Oh, look, this is Sam and Stu's.
Right, here we go.
House. Oh, look at the difference. Whoa, look at that. That is the difference we're talking about. But of course, it's not just for the aesthetics of it looking all shiny. It is about stopping the dust from forming on the leaves quite as quickly and quite as much, which then allows the plant to do its photosynthesizing. And
I think the Baby Bio leaf shine works particularly well on big leaf plants like the umbrella that we're looking at there. We saw the rubber plant as well. I think we all forget sometimes to do this. And although I love houseplants, there's nothing worse than a sad-looking houseplant.
Yeah.
If a houseplant looks miserable and isn't healthy, it's not nice to have in the home, is it?
Agreed.
So that really will make a difference.
Luscious looking,
of course we do.
You know, greenery.
And that a little spray, my mum uses that all the time on her rubber. Not I say all the time, but you know, once every maybe 4 to 6 weeks, she gives a rubber plant a spray and it looks like a new plant.
Yeah.
Loves it, looks great. So we've got that as well. And we have got a great compost for you.
Yeah.
But it's a peat-free one, this one.
Yeah, so you've got the houseplant, a focus. How big is it? 20 litre?
8.
No, 8 litre, of course it is. 8 litre. 20 litre would be bigger. 8 litre, which is great if you've just got a couple of houseplants to repot. It's great if you are peat-free as well, because obviously this is a peat-free compost. We obviously recommend our premium professional compost. We love that, but being peat-free is very important to some people. So if it is, then go for this one.
And it's a nice little size on that one. So,
and
8
it matches
litres.
my jumper.
It does. And that is 101.51. Can we just say we've had a lovely houseplant special.
Yeah, this has been really, really enjoyable. I love talking about houseplants.
And just being surrounded by houseplants.
Excuse me, Sean, sorry.
It's all right.
Apologies.
I think it gives you a real feeling of well-being, particularly in the winter months when you don't get outside in your garden. You want that greenery inside. What we've done, we've selected houseplants that are pretty much, I'm not going to say all foolproof, but easy to moderate. There's nothing really tricky here.
Nothing really tricky. I mean, the most difficult is probably the Alocasia zebrina, and even that, I think most people will be, they're fine. You can do it.
But we've also got you amazing prices today, like really good prices, and some really unusual plants as well. We've got a few like old-time favourites, but what about this one? Our string of hearts. This just puts a smile on my face because every leaf is heart-shaped.
Yeah.
So really, I think it's quite a romantic one. This one.
And you've got the marbling, sort of the variegation and the texture on those leaves as well, which is really, really gorgeous. Now, it can trail by probably a metre and a half. It's really easy to look after this one. You know, if you just want to get into houseplants and you want an elegant trailing plant, definitely this one you can go for. It can cope with lower light levels. It'd be very happy in a bright room, not direct light, but a bright room, but can definitely cope with a lower light level room as well. I've
got mine in we've got a little ensuite on the guest bedroom. It's hardly ever used, and I've got it there. It's a very small window that's next to us. It doesn't get much light, but also I did forget to water it, Bex, for quite a few weeks, and it was okay.
Yeah, it doesn't.
Because it's like a semi-succulent, this one, isn't it?
It's a semi-succulent, so it really doesn't need a massive amount of watering. So I think you can let it dry out a little bit, and it's not hungry either. So one feed in the spring, one feed in the summer. That's all you need to do with that one.
Beautiful,
beautiful. I love it, and it creates these lovely pink flowers in the summertime as well.
I look forward to those.
Yeah, they're awesome. The other one, which is just one of the best prices, is the jade plant, the Crassula ovata. Now, this is a slow-growing beauty that is only £4.99. So bear in mind how slow-growing this is, and it's in a 12-centimetre pot. This isn't one of the ones in a 6 or the 9. This is in a 12-centimetre pot. So that's already really well established, and we're almost giving it away.
And it is one of the few plants that will be fine in direct sunlight.
Yeah.
Most of those we say indirect. This one, really bright sunny windowsill. It's going to be very happy. Again, you can let it dry out for many weeks between waterings. Now, Stu, I mentioned that these flower once in a blue moon, don't they? And they get little pink flowers. Didn't somebody message in and said there's a flowered?
Oh, was it Elaine who said that?
Yeah, they've got these lovely. I've seen images. I've never got them to flower myself, but I have seen images of them, and they get covered in these tiny little pink sort of star-shaped flowers. And I think Elaine said her grand's
My gran has this in the doorway, and it flowered pink flowers.
Yeah. They're really pretty when it does it.
Wow. But I think I'm going to get that, because at £4.99, that is just a steal of a deal, honestly. Yeah. That's a really good price.
So it's very slow grade. Again, there's lots of association with good luck with this one. Some people say it's called the jade plant because it looks like jade, but a lot of, you see it often we'll talk about your local Chinese restaurant. There's one there, isn't there?
Yeah, it's huge as well. So it's obviously many years old. Decades. It's probably a good metre in height and sort of, probably 60, 80 centimetres width on it as well. So it's really old, but it sits right in the window. Yeah. So bright, direct light. And it's tricky, isn't it? What do I put in the south-facing window? Because not many plants are going to really appreciate it.
A lot of plants would fry or go brown.
They wouldn't like it.
But Stu's just said it, it's so right. Jade is known to be a lucky gemstone, isn't it? A lot of people wear jade bangles and things like that. Course. So that association is carried over with the jade plants. A lot of people do, again, it's another that people call the money plants, so associated with prosperity and wealth. And again, suddenly all this money's appeared in my pocket just talking about it, Bex. You're
so lucky, Sean.
I'm so hammy pantomime today, aren't I? I'm rehearsing for pantomime at the moment, so excuse any kind of cheesy jokes and gags. But that's great at £4.99. Now, one of the ones that I have got is this one, and it's a type of Ficus benjamina, but it's a variegated one, and it's been grown beautifully. There are several stems that have been held together in this jute at the bottom, so I think it creates a lovely shape.
It does. It creates that lovely tree shape, doesn't it? It's quite slow growing. It's one that wants to sort of be left alone. Just once you've got it in the right place, it just doesn't want all of your attention. It wants, sort of semi-regular watering, we're talking here, but just leave me alone.
It's like,
I want to be alone.
It's like you when you want rid of the kids.
Exactly.
Just peace and quiet.
That's why I want my jungle bathroom. I can shut the door and turn it away.
So it's what I really like about this particular variety is the variegation. You get a lot of Ficus benjamina with just solid green leaves. These have got the lovely kind of cream edges to them. It is an easy plant. There's just a few do's and don'ts. Doesn't like draft. This one hates draft, so don't put it near open windows, open doors, and it doesn't like direct heat sources, so again, not next to a radiator. But if you put it in a nice, quiet, peaceful corner, indirect light, it will be very, very happy there. And it will let you know if you've underwatered it, all that would happen, it would start to lose a few leaves.
Yeah.
But I tend to never let mine completely dry out.
I think that's the key with Ficus, isn't it? Don't let it dry out. And don't put it in those heat or temperature fluctuation areas. But
honestly, I've got one in my lounge and it's beautiful. They are slow growing, so it's not going to suddenly grow massive, but really, I think it's got a lovely shape to it, the Ficus benjamina. Right, here we go.
Maranta tricolour. I adore this one, honestly, it's so pretty. The colours that you get on it, obviously this is why it's called the tricolour, because you get those lovely colours on there. Now they have texture to them, so the veining that you can see, which is a delightful pink colour, it's actually raised up, so it's got great texture, but the leaf itself is very soft. It's almost like a suede feel to it, that soft suede feel.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah, and it's a really easy one, this one as well. So even though it's a prayer plant and sort of similar to calatheas and stuff, it's not difficult at all. It spreads slightly. So as you can see here, look, it's in the pot there, but can you see how it's spreading?
Right, I've got a new word for you, Bex.
Go on, it's not sprawling.
So Bex says sprawl.
I say it's a wonderful sprawling habit.
And I don't like that word, because my mum used to say that to me when I used to lie on the...
Stop sprawling.
Stop sprawling on the... You stop sprawling on the sofa. So do you know what I'm going to say? Meander.
Okay, meander. Let's go with meander. That's a nice one. It does meander. You get a little...
that sounds so much better, Bex. Right, do it again. Do sprawl and meander, okay?
It's got a beautiful sprawling habit.
Right, do my suggestion.
It has a wonderful meandering habit.
Which I like that.
All right, we'll go with meander.
What do you think at home?
Let's go with meandering. It does. You get a little bit of upright growth, and then it sort of just meanders across from the pot.
Those magical words.
It doesn't trail. It doesn't kind of really get vigorous. It just gently meanders. I'm going to use it all the time.
I like it now. I love it. It's a beautiful plant. I've got a couple of prayer plants, and they are delightful, and it is interesting. So they do move at night. They sort of like the leaves kind of close up a little bit. It changes shape, so it's quite extraordinary. It does that. I believe it's to protect itself, to conserve energy in its native countries.
Yeah, it's also to stop like fungus forming and things like that as well.
Very good. So again, protecting itself.
Yeah, definitely.
So that is the Maranta tricolour, one of the new prayer plants that we've got. Then something that's a little bit quirky is our braided snake plants, which we've lost, haven't we, Bex? We did.
No, here it is.
There it is. No wonder we've lost it. There you go. So this is a type of Sansevieria. You might know mother-in-law's tongue. That's a type of Sansevieria. But this is the cylindrica, because the leaves are like cylinders.
Yeah.
And this has been specially braided. Now, if you undid it, it's actually still attractive, but this has been specially braided to create this wonderful shape. They are very slow growing, so it's not going to suddenly go out of shape and change. But again, it's a really easy one. You can let this completely dry out between waterings, because all the water is stored in those fleshy leaves. I like that. Let's just say, I think it's modern. I think you said that.
Yeah, it's got a very contemporary feel to it. Certainly, it's nice and slow growing. It's air purifying, which is a wonderful one. And I just think it's a great one if you want to have a, next to your bed or as a desk plant or something. It's not going to take up too much space, and it's not going to take up too much of your time either.
I was thinking of having this next to my aloe vera.
Yeah, definitely.
That'd work, wouldn't
Lovely.
it?
Succulents together.
Yeah.
All succulents together.
Yeah. I was thinking about that.
Very nice.
I really like that one.
Yeah.
So that is the Sansevieria, the cylindrica braided snake plant at $9.99, 800 356. Right, we are rapidly running out of time. Is there anything anybody wants to particularly see? If you've got any questions, anything in the group chat, Bex?
No, nothing else being requested. Oh, hang on, Neil.
hang on.
Cheers. Neil says, thanks, Bex and Sean. I will give you a message. Thanks, Bex. I will watch tonight after work. Cheers, both. I may message you as well, Sean, for those you've got that your cat is okay with.
Oh, okay, Neil. Yeah.
That are pet friendly. So, yeah, absolutely. No problem at all.
There's a few, Neil, I'll advise that I definitely don't have.
Ruth is saying Maranta meander. Maranta meander.
Do you like me? I see.
Oh, you're all on Sean's side, aren't you, eh?
If anyone likes the word sprawl, let us know. It's only because my mum used to tell me off for sprawling on the sofa.
This is why, you're shopping telly king.
What, can I know the word meander?
Yeah. It's all right.
I don't think so. Right,
this was my favourite. Can I just give the details of this one?
Oh, you certainly can.
As we're on the succulents, because this one genuinely is my one of, I can't say it's my favourite, but it's one of my favourites at the moment. I love the elegance of it. I just think it's really, really beautiful.
Yeah.
And it being a succulent means that it is really, really easy to look after. It barely needs any watering. It doesn't need any attention. And again, this is one of the two plants that we've got here at the moment that will happily cope with the bright, direct sunlight. And it comes in the hang pot with this readily attached. So all you have to do is have a hook somewhere. You can take it out of the box and you can hang it straight up.
And I recently had a little conservatory built, and it is hard to actually find plants that will, because it's south-facing.
Yeah,
so
really hard to find plants
and honestly, it's trickier than you think to get plants that actually love full sun and won't just fry, and that is one of the few that will. And it's beautiful, isn't it? And again, you can let it completely dry out between waterings. That's what it wants. It's a succulent, stores its water in these little almost like beads.
Pearls.
Yeah, because they're...
We've got one called string of beads. I mean, they're very similar. This one's just slightly more
elongated. There's actually one called string of dolphins as well.
There is. They've got dolphin shapes.
Yeah. But they're all very similar.
Very, very similar.
And that's a fleshy leaf that you've got. So that's full of water. And I love the flowers as well. They're quite unusual, aren't they?
I love them.
So yes, if you've always wanted a string of pearls,
I like
the
it.
Senecio Rolianus that Bex has fallen in love with at $19.99. It is a lovely plant. Very easy to propagate as well.
Yeah, super easy.
Yeah.
You get these aerial roots, and you can, so they often look like this way, because it's full round one side and then bare on the other side. And all you have to do is take the longer ones where you've got an aerial, and there's loads of them. I can see aerial roots everywhere I look. There's one there just in front of my thumb. God. So there, all you're going to do is trim that off just above that aerial root. Trim it off just above that aerial root, and then
there you go. Yes, I've just seen
at
it.
The top.
Free plants.
And then it'll just root for you, or you can put it into a fresh new pot, and it will create, as Sean says, new plants.
So don't forget, although it's a different show, it's been all about houseplants. You can mix and match with other plants. If there's other things that you've got on your list at the moment from previous shows, try and get your order to over £40. You will get free delivery. Don't worry if it's under £40. We still cap the postage at $6.99. And your free gift today is the Blooming Fast, which is worth £4.99. And I know sometimes, because it's really weird, I run a garden club, and a lot of the experienced gardeners say, oh, I'm no good with houseplants. But actually, with the YouGarden houseplants, great quality. We've got loads of information on our website, but these are all easy. And I do think it makes a difference. Houseplants, to me, they make a home.
They do, definitely. They make a big difference. The other collection I think you should look at is potentially the double-up deal that we've got over here. The choice between the Epiprenum aureum, the Epiprenum marble queen, or the spider plant. Just put the two that you want into your basket, enter the code, and you will get them both for $9.99. £5 per plant. So that's the other top tip over here.
Right, if you want to join us on TikTok, if you've got TikTok, we are live on TikTok this afternoon from 2 till 4. Bex is on another holiday, so she's not here on Sunday.
Yeah, all of those holidays I've taken this year.
Yeah.
But Adam will be with you, so that's wonderful.
Yeah, you've got myself and Adam on Sunday, and we have got some new Black Friday deals on Sunday. But yeah, Bex sadly is not going to be here, but you're here next...
I'll be here next Thursday.
Next Thursday, great. So... enjoy your houseplants. Make sure you order some of these amazing prices. We'll see you soon here on YGTV.